Sorghum wine? Sorghum wine?
Mm-mm.
Chinese sorghum wine? Anyone?
What is that derived from?
Sorghum. Sorghum.
Oh,
It's,
sorghum. Okay, yeah.
I've had
it's
plum
like
wine.
wheat of some sort, huh?
I've had plum wine,
Plum wine's good,
which is
I
really
love
strong
plum.
though. Plum
But I
wine
love
is
plum wine.
plum wine is like soju. So
Very
I went
pungent.
to a restaurant once, and it was like a sushi restaurant, and they had mostly sake, but they also had a bottle of soju, and like it gave like the flavors of all the sake, and for the soju it was like vodka to let
Like
people know
vodka.
it's not like sake, which is more of like a sipping drink, you know, like
Yeah.
soju is a little bit more. I mean, you could also sip soju, but unless it's flavored, soju is just tastes really strong.
I mean, just pretty much straight liquor, like just alcohol,
as opposed to sake, which depends on the sake. Like I usually get nigiri sake, so it's like unfiltered.
Yeah, technically it'd be like, I mean, it's wine. It is wine, but like still, yeah.
Well, soju's also wine, but like the funny thing about sorghum wine, like Galliong, depending on where you're from, but it's still technically, I don't know what they still call it wine by definition, but it's like always like really high proof, really high percent. I am sure still high proof, but like 60% alcohol. I think the standard is like 58. Most Galliong would be 58%. So like what?
Yeah, that's 120.
That's pretty strong.
120 something. Yeah, my math is terrible. 118.
I mean, that's I think vodka's like 40 proof. So
yeah.
Yeah, vodka's like straight liquor.
Terrible. And it's funny because that was
actually vodka's mostly water, but yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah. Well, like compared to like beer.
Vodka's only like 40% liquor or alcohol.
Actually, I didn't know we were live. They put that we're live.
The rest,
oops.
Well, maybe it's more than that. The thing that has the most alcohol that I know of is Everclear. That's like 98%, 190 proof or 95%.
I mean, that's like
insane.
what you use to like clean stuff. If you have to have like culinary grade stuff.
Well, no, because he went to a convention last weekend, and she bought. I think she's buying some for ALA as well. But she bought. She had, no, she's like Manny, what wine do I get? I'm like, don't buy anything that's sorghum because sorghum tastes like crap and it's really high percentage. And like buy something, buy like Shaoxing or something like that. Buy something that's far less alcohol and it tastes like a little better. And
buy absinthe.
Yeah, but she showed
absinthe.
She showed me the bottle she bought. I'm like, that's Galliong. I'm like, can't you read? I'm like, of course she can't read Chinese, but I'll just be stupid.
Well, there you go.
Like,
no, I can't.
Well, she bought it
literally,
but somehow she had like 6 shots of that at the con. Might I add, like drinking in public. Like I'm like, wow, the follies of youth.
But, I mean, there's a delay.
We are
Vivo
live and Vivo. We are in vivo with the drinking. Oh, I can't.
The drinking, the talking, and the learning. Who would have thought?
Points. I don't know why I'm laughing like this.
I'm sure it is something insidious, just like
I'm not
stirring
drinking
up
it right now, and it's warm, or maybe I would like last minute it. But I did go to 99 Ranch today, and I got some Taiwan beer. Apparently, they don't sell the Taiwan beer, the lychee one anymore. I was like, they said I have to wait till I ask somebody who's like in Taiwan. I'm like, do they sell it there? Because I asked somebody at 99 Ranch, like they don't make it anymore, which I don't disbelieve them, but I also don't believe them.
might be really tricky, like getting it imported if it comes from like overseas.
Yeah, what's funny is that I mentioned for most Chinese beers in general, like Tsingtao, Taiwan beer, and I can't remember all the other brands off the top of my head. Those are actually imported beers, and for some reason, every Japanese beer is not imported, and I don't know why that is.
Like, I think a lot of them are actually owned by Anheuser-Busch.
Yes, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Sapporo and Asahi.
They make them here.
Yeah,
they make them here as well.
It's so ridiculous. I'm like, I don't know. I just find that funny. It's just drinking American beer with a different label. I remember.
Well, it's just like Guinness. There's Guinness that's made in America.
Also true, yeah.
Guinness is a little different because that's like a, I don't know, for some
Western
reason.
beer.
Yeah, but like
Irish, kind of. I just associate it more, even if it's not.
Well, it's definitely Irish. Or maybe it's Scottish, but regardless, that's still considered the West.
Yeah, and isn't Budweiser? Wouldn't that be German? Is that a German company?
Don't tell the Germans that.
But Budweiser.
Like, there's the huge wall of like beer elitism right
I think
there.
Budweiser is made by Anheuser-Busch, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's all pretty much like that, and shit,
But
it might actually be them and Boston beer.
Like German chocolate cake is not named after the country Germany. It's named after the German baker's chocolate, which is named after a person.
Oh.
Like what? Frank?
Were they named German?
Yeah, their last name was German.
Oh,
no way!
I'm making fun of it, and that really was the case. Oh, sorry. How do you not know
amazing.
we're live? Hey, Manuel, what show am I watching? Watching DTL. It's Irish. Is Budweiser Irish, or is that talking about Guinness?
That would be German.
Guinness is Irish.
No, Budweiser is not Irish.
If you said Budweiser, I would.
It's for sure not Irish. I don't know what it is, but it's not Irish.
I assume it's something Germanic, where people talking. I'm just gonna keep offending everyone. European. All I know about Irish is they make is Jameson Irish, I believe. Iris is
Jameson is Irish. I believe it's an Irish whiskey.
Whiskey in general has like a.
I thought you were about to say whiskey in general is Irish.
No, it's like associations there. But like,
there is. I mean, whiskey is like a mixture between being from like Scotland, Ireland, and being from America.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I used to always think whiskey and bourbon were like interchangeable.
Wait, bourbon is a whiskey. Not all whiskey is bourbon.
There you go.
Squares and rectangles.
Just like I believe,
Yep.
I believe brandy is or cognac is brandy, but not all brandy is cognac.
There you go.
Yeah.
Similar thing. Or sparkling wine is champagne is sparkling wine, but not all sparkling white wine is champagne.
Exactly. If it specifically doesn't come out of Champagne, France.
Yeah, and same with
champagne.
cognac has to come from cognac, France. I believe that's in France. And then like bourbon is. Well, actually, I don't think bourbon has to be made in America, but it has to be like aged in specific barrels.
I always love that whenever you go to a place that you're buying a supermarket brand of a liquor, and you could buy the cheap vodka, the cheap. I buy that a lot for making jungle juice, some shit like that, or if it's something like if it's vodka, because I don't like. I think vodka tastes like dirt, no matter if you buy the $10 bottle, if you buy like the $6 bottle.
Oh no, it definitely is different.
So.
It is definitely different. I know this for a fact because my when I was in 21-year-old freshman year of college, because I was totally 21 then. I was able to do shots down to chaser, and then when I was a sophomore, I couldn't anymore, and I thought it was because my tolerance went down, but I realized it was just because I was getting cheaper alcohol because I started going to frat parties.
Yeah, you immediately notice the difference. Like, have random vodka get like the bottom tier, you'll notice the difference immediately.
Here I am, just here you go. Here's a $10, store brand of vodka I brought. It's like slam it on the table. It's not even fucking Smirnoff. It's like whatever the fuck like.
I mean, that's what I was having freshman year was Smirnoff, which is
Smirnoff
better than freaking Albertson's brand vodka.
I actually. I don't remember what it's called anymore.
Or no, Vlad.
At least Smirnoff is in a glass bottle.
Albertson, the plastic bottle. Albertson's brand rum is one of my favorite rums of all time. I swear to God, that's actually, rebranded. That's rebranded something. It has to be.
Brand cherry vodka with Coke is not bad. It tastes like cherry.
So like I get a feeling that some of Albertson's brands are rebranded because that is a thing, by the way. A lot of store brands are just rebrandings of real brands. And I swear to God, like I think I'm trying to remember which one it is. It's not Captain. Yeah, it's Captain. I think it's rebranded Captain Morgan, to be honest, because it has this. I don't like Bacardi rum, by the way. I can't stand Bacardi. Tastes like.
Are you more of a dark rum person than a light rum person?
Light rum. Bacardi tastes like light rum. Tastes like.
What do you go for?
Captain Morgan's not light rum.
Yeah,
well, the spiced rum, but I think they do have like light
white.
But like the thing that they're known for is the spiced rum, which is like.
I guess it's not really dark rum. I don't really like dark rum because it tastes like whiskey to me.
Well, if
like whiskey and dark rum have a similar aftertaste that my brain just does not like.
Fair enough. Whiskey is one of those things. It's like you have to develop that, and even then, it's pretty much like I developed this just so I can look like a badass while drinking it straight.
It's kind of in the same mindset.
Just buy top shelf and then just be poor. Simply choose to be poor. That's all you have to do.
Oh, you bought Crown. We bought Crown. Wait, is that like,
Absolutely.
is that
This
Apple
was
Crown?
full when we started yesterday, by the way.
Are you
Hey,
serious? Oh, I'm not gonna lie. I drank a lot. Like I don't think.
Manuel, I kept up with you.
Yeah, a friend of mine was apparently lurking, and they told me later on because there was a part where I don't think nobody was paying attention to me, but like I was literally like pouring, and it was like I looked at it, I'm like, oh, that's way too much, and I drank some. I was like, and then I poured
Like, it's
some
way
more.
too
That's
much.
I better drink some so there's not too much in there.
Like, and it was pure alcohol. Like I had not put any coke in. Like I usually do rum and cokes, and we just. But anyway. Oh, by the way, just to close that out, I did what Hal made fun of me for doing. I never actually finished my original point. I was trying to say I love that for some reason when you get store brand alcohol, it's never whiskey that they have. It's always Canadian whiskey, and I'm like, what is it about Canadian whiskey that is cheaper than normal whiskey? That they could sell it for like $10 a bottle.
Well, it's like it's like there's this play they made a movie out of it actually, but it's originally a play. It's called
The Wizard of Oz.
No, that was not originally a play.
It was a book, but
so weird. Fuck, what it's called Proof.
Okay, there we go.
And it's about, anyways, in the first scene she's drinking champagne and her dad comes in and he's like, wow, that must be some good champagne because it's from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin?
You know, that cheap Wisconsin champagne.
So that's
I
guess nobody like Canada makes cheap whiskey apparently.
Well, I mean, also it's closer, I guess. But then at the same time, all the other whiskeys
there's
probably
American
like mostly made
whiskey.
here.
Yeah,
I was gonna say
Jack. Even though everyone apparently like hates Jack, I actually have a love-hate relationship with Jack. But everyone hates Jack. But like Jack's not like, it's not that cheap. It's
Whiskey
still like
started.
it's like mid tier.
Yeah, it's like mid. It's like low mid tier. But my point is that's done in Tennessee, you know. And I think like even Maker's Mark, which is like a solid mid tier, that's also done in Kentucky.
The origin of whiskey began over 1,000 years ago when distillation made the migration from mainland Europe into Scotland and Ireland via traveling monks. The Scottish and Irish monasteries, lacking the vineyards and grapes of the continent, returned to fermenting grain mash, resulting in the first distillations of modern whiskey.
Whiskey.
So it started. Whiskey is officially Scottish Irish.
For the life of me, I can't understand like
first.
the difference between bourbon and whiskey, though.
Okay, bourbon is just a type of whiskey. That's literally
we went over this.
Bourbon is a type of whiskey.
No, but like, what makes it different? Is what I mean. Like, what discerns it?
Wait.
I think it has to do with what it's made with, right?
I have like alcohol training stuff.
Because like the tasting is definitely like distinct.
Like, because I think it's Molly will get it correct, but I'm pretty sure it has to do with the grain used, like rye versus.
It is rye, but it's not just that.
It could be
Fun
like
fact, in PA, we used rye because it's the only grain stubborn enough to grow here in Mass. So we were just like, yeah, if it's willing to just grow in our unbelievably like impractical weather, yeah, we'll make whiskey out of that.
Nature finds a way.
I'm gonna. By the way, fun fact. Speaking of like rebranded bottles, this is actually Captain Morgan. I mentioned this many streams, but it's poured into a cheap Walmart brand bottle, just so I could fit in my ice chest easier. And I know you're not supposed to refill plastic bottles, but this is a plastic bottle.
The entire concept of like store brand liquor, like floors me.
This brand Caliber, which is Walmart's brand, it's not. I don't think it's as good as the Albertsons brand, but it's pretty good for a cheap brand. I would put it in mixed drinks. I wouldn't drink it by itself. But if I had to like if I had to make 100, AMFs or some bullshit, I would buy this brand.
By law, to be labeled bourbon, it must be aged for a minimum of 2 years in new white oak barrels that have been charred.
Nothing
can be added at bottling to enhance flavor, add sweetness, or alter the color. So that's
okay. So it's kind of like it's like a smokier type of flavor. Okay, that makes sense.
So that's why you can't find bourbon in the Albertsons brand. Oh shit!
Like I don't know what makes something freaking. You can make vodka out of grapes. So what's the difference between vodka and wine? I don't understand.
Well, I thought it had to be potatoes.
No,
it doesn't have to be potatoes.
Most vodka is not made out of potatoes. You actually have to be careful.
That's the gluten-free one.
A lot of vodka is not gluten-free.
Yeah, because I remember I don't remember his name anymore. There was a friend of mine who used to go to cons a lot, and he's all like, "Oh yeah, I can only drink this alcohol." He brought himself because it was vodka made from potatoes. Like, isn't all vodka made from potatoes?
Cheetos?
Like, no.
Ciroc is made from grapes. I think some of the Russian vodka is made. Stolnyek or whatever is made from grain, I believe. But then Absolute might be made from potatoes.
Might be. Like, it's definitely like if it says gluten free.
Absolute tastes like it's made of potatoes.
It does.
Delicious.
That's
No, what's that? What's that? What? Oh, Kettle One. I can't stand Kettle One.
Kettle One's all right.
Kettle One, yeah. I'm like,
no, never mind. Sorry, Stoli is the one that's made out of grain. Stolnyakia.
There we go.
Which vodka is?
I feel like I feel like I actually like Stoli, but like I've only had that once at a fan anime because someone else brought it. I don't think I guess if you go to a Bevmo, but I've never seen that in any store I've gone to.
I mean, like if you're just party drinking, then it's kind of like, hey, who really cares? You know, you're probably gonna like keep drinking without even noticing the taste.
Okay, Chopin. Chopin is made from potatoes.
Oh, I thought you were saying champagne, but just
no, Chopin.
I thought she.
Chopin.
Is it a pianist?
Yeah.
Well, he's a composer as well, but
there we go.
I don't know if the vodka has any. I just looked up like potato vodkas, and it basically is talking about only 3% of vodkas worldwide are made from potatoes.
Let's go out of the chat. Oh well, yeah. By the way, Miss Choco's been like explaining a lot of the shit made in the U.S. Made for these 51% corn. Everything's made from corn in the U.S. We're made of corn. I remember there was a documentary. I can't remember what the fuck it was called. Something corn. And apparently, like all the corn Americans eat is like slowly changing us. Apparently, like we're becoming like. Obviously, it's not that serious, but we're becoming part corn, basically.
Oh yeah, no, but like you do anything like enough generations, like.
Well, also, like I'm pretty sure, like as Westerners, you know, like we're the weird ones who like have developed a way to drink milk still, past like you know.
Actually, I think one of the things I know is that wine and beer are like a single fermentation process, whereas most other alcohols have more than one fermentation process.
Yeah. Oof.
So that's why like brandy is like wine that has been fermented again.
Yeah, like they still like whatever's in the wine itself, and then it's just like the straight alcohol, and then they age it in like the caskets.
And then sherry is also similar to somehow to brandy. And then there's port, which is brandy plus wine. just like
what?
Or maybe I'm confusing it. It might be that port is. It might be brandy. Yeah, never mind.
Is that fortified? Well,
yeah, fortified wine.
Okay, there you go. It's like I know I like that term had to come in somewhere.
Well, fortified wine, to me, I mean, I'm not sure if it's all supposed to be like this. Fortified wine's always the cheap wine you buy at the liquor store.
It's wine that has been added. Something's been added to it to make it have more alcohol, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could basically go to that's the MD 2020. That's the fucking the not Thunderbird. Night Rain, Night Train, not Night Rain, Night Train. Sorry.
Not what you put.
Have you ever heard Manischewitz kosher wine?
No,
what is Concord grapes. Wine made out of Concord grapes, guys.
It sounds expensive.
I'm not going to talk much about it because I have a whole DTL in.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. So
not specifically just about that, but
real fast before we actually start the show, because that wasn't the start of the show. Apparently, what's everyone's favorite drink? My favorite drink is probably and if you would asked me this a couple of years ago, I would be like, oh, Jack and Coke. My favorite drink, actually, to this day, is Dragonberry rum and Coca-Cola, like specifically Coca-Cola. Like I feel like almost everything else I can mix with other different brands of Coke. There's even some that I prefer. Like I have to have Shasta with this, or I have to have RC with this, or like or Pepsi. There actually are, but no. Dragonberry rum and Coca-Cola, taste like cherry Coke, and it's scary how good it is. Unfortunately, Dragonberry rum is currently discontinued, and I am holding onto dear life for the last 4 bottles of it I have right now. So yeah, until they bring it back.
Exactly that, but if you want something close,
what is that?
It's dragon fruit melon.
Yeah. I actually thought Dragonberry was an actual fruit. I thought Dragonberry was a fruit, but apparently Dragonberry rum was a mix of dragon fruit and strawberry. So yeah. So
Chicken food is such a disappointing
I'm also
fruit.
gonna do a DTL on like what like officially makes something different because I'm very confused as to how you can make both vodka and whiskey out of the same ingredients, yet they are different. Like, you know what I mean?
It could probably, it could be entirely, this is going to sound weird. It could be an entirely just legal thing for like if something can get taxed or not.
Because vodka barrel aged?
No. So that's probably the
that's a huge thing. Like the barrel you put something in is insanely important.
Oh
yeah. I think it's also, well, I think you could have barrel aged vodka, I guess. I don't know if vodka's aged. I don't think vodka is aged at all. Anyway.
Yeah, I think vodka's shove it, get it out.
For something, apparently legally, for something to be considered vodka, it has to be colorless, tasteless, and odorless.
Really?
I mean, ass.
That's why all you taste is the alcohol.
But like the alcohol has a taste. Like,
well, yeah, but you shouldn't taste anything else.
Yeah.
Can you actually get drunk drinking rubbing alcohol?
Why don't we try?
You can go blind.
Yep. Was that coolant? I'll go ahead and be the.
What's your favorite drink?
I'll be the shameless hipster of the group. I will say my favorite drink if I actually get asked into like making it, or like I'll order in a restaurant, but I won't actually like do it at home because it's too much hassle. It's an old fashioned.
Oh, whiskey. Wait, what is that? Is that like I know you mash something for that.
So for an old fashioned, you put a sugar cube, bitters, orange slice, and cherry in the bottom of a glass, and then you muddle them together, and then you fill it with ice and pour whiskey over it.
There you go. Okay, you muddle them. I'm like, you muggle them. You
Harry Potter. Have to. You can also just put them in there.
Yeah,
but you should muddle it.
I do love the idea though of a bartender just kind of nonchalantly tossing them in there, pouring whiskey over it, and being like, "There."
I mean, it's technically all the ingredients.
It's pretty much just whiskey, but like slightly flavored.
Well, that's all. That's just more alcohol and alcohol, by the way, because I think bitters is like 50%, isn't it?
Is it? Yeah. I thought it was just like bitter flavors.
Bitters are not alcoholic.
Yeah, I thought it.
What bitters do you use? Because like that bitters I always get is like 50%.
Oh. Jesus Christ! I think that's
I
think that's liqueur.
No, like the. I'm actually serious. Like the ones that we
know that bitters had alcohol. Apparently they did.
Yeah.
Oh, is it like
both water and alcohol?
Is it like vanilla extract? Maybe.
Yeah, it's like I think it's more of like an extract type thing. It's not like
okay.
Yeah, because but my point is that it's just mixing alcohol with alcohol. Because I was looking up like fancier drinks, like because like Weston was getting on my case about ALA. We should try more things besides just variations on teas.
I will give you the best.
As in Long Island, Tokyo. And
I will give you the best video game themed cocktail if you like sweet things, and I feel like it is. It's called a Black Rose, and it's directly inspired by Bayonetta. And it's like you take Pepsi, cherry vodka, cherry rum, and you melt chocolate, and then hold on. You take a cherry lollipop, and then you stir it with the cherry lollipop as you pour in the melted chocolate, and it's like a chocolate covered cherry.
Okay, yeah, bitters contains about the same amount of extract or alcohol as vanilla extract, so that's why it's oftentimes not considered alcohol, because you're not gonna be like
drinking
a glass of that.
I can imagine drinking like a shot of bitters. What? God.
And I think because with vanilla extract, I'm pretty sure since the alcohol bakes out.
Yeah.
The vanilla.
That's probably how they get the flavor. That's how they get the flavor out, like the alcohol and like seep it and then just kind of like bring it out. I'm sure.
What's your favorite
I'm ready
drink?
to go, so I'm gonna go first.
Wait, what's your favorite drink, Molly?
Oh, anything with Bailey's or amaretto. Actually, anything with amaretto.
Amaretto.
That was the first thing I ever drank. Like that's the first thing I snuck out of my parents' liquor cabinet.
It's the first thing you ever drank? Like you came out of the womb and the first thing you drank was amaretto.
Yep. Like,
started early, baby.
Put a nipple on the bottle, just handed it to you. I'm gonna go empty out my ice chest, and when we come back, Molly can do that. You're gonna get ready. I'll be right back.
That was the first time I ever actually understood what alcohol tasted like, and immediately I had the knee-jerk reaction of like, why would people drink this? This is awful.
What do you mean?
This is just fire.
If the first thing I ever drank was amaretto, I would be like, I understand why people drink this. It's delicious.
No, like it was like straight, like it was like
amaretto
room temperature and warm.
Amaretto is pretty strong for a liqueur.
Oh shit! I just realized we didn't do anything. Hey guys, this is Drink Talk. Talk Learn, the show where we all have a presentation and we all drink while doing it. I'm already about like a drink and a half in, by the way. Yeah, drink and a half exactly. And
do you know red cups are apparently an American thing?
Yeah, people. When I was growing up, we just used red Solo cups as water cups. I didn't realize what they meant to everyone else.
When I used to work at Party City, I used to take home whatever cup we had. So like, it was the only time in my life where I had other colors. But yeah, I just used red. That's all they sell in stores. Like if you go to like a Walmart, like. But I remember I had boxes. Like literally, I brought home boxes of purple cups. We stopped carrying purple at Party City. And for like 2-3 years of my life, we drank out of purple cups.
Like, I want a purple cup.
We had. Yeah, we don't sell them anymore, unfortunately. But anyways, yeah, Drink Talk Learn. We all presentation, 3 minutes. Take a drink. Every minute thereafter, we take more drinks.
We all take it. There you go.
We don't. Then we all try to fuck with them. You know, verbal obstacle course to get them to drink more. I guess
I literally have one truly, so don't fuck with me too much. I don't have that
much. If you want to party along at home, go ahead, but do so responsibly. We're not responsible for anything you do.
Only if you're of age.
Only if you're of age. Only if it's legal in the area. Only don't do anything stupid, and also never drink and drive, and drink responsibly.
Absolutely.
And I'm Manuel, by the way, and that's Molly. That's How, and that's Pleiades. There you go.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. How? What's your favorite drink?
Screwdriver. And vodka, anything. If someone came and like if the bartender like jumped over the bar and like shook me and was like, "What's your favorite?" Probably a screwdriver. I'm a sucker for just vodka OJ. Super simple.
Yeah, that's one of those drinks where it's kind of pretentious. Just say you want vodka orange juice.
A screwdriver.
Wait, what's more syllables though? I don't know.
But okay, I remember in bartending school, they're like, if you ever go to a bar and order a Cape Cod, you're gonna look pretentious. Just order vodka cranberry.
Vodka cranberry.
I think that's my line. Like screwdriver just feels like a common thing to me. But like if I ever ordered a Cape Cod and they went no, I'd be like, that's fine. I understand.
Technically, a Cape Cod also has a lime wedge.
A lime wedge? Oh no.
Well,
that's the kind of thing I would
but
never.
They basically told us if a drink only has 2 ingredients, just say the ingredients. If a drink has more than that, then say the name.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like a Long Island, like that's
yeah. Can I have a rum and vodka and tequila?
I'm just saying that.
And just splash some sours.
And then I would also like a little bit of Sprite. Or no, Long Island,
Coke.
A little bit of Coke.
One time I actually went to an Olive Garden. I know this makes sound so stupid because I did this in the Olive Garden, and the bartender didn't know how to make me didn't know how to make a Tokyo tea for me and because my friend wanted one. She's like, I want one, but I don't want. She didn't want me to make it. So I'm like, we go to Olive Garden.
Long Island?
They did exactly. Well, it didn't occur to me to tell them make a Long Island, but change that out. And so
you probably didn't know at that point because you thought an AMF and
yeah, there you go. But I did walk them through I just walked through all the shots and they're like, this is a lot of alcohol. And then they realized though after a while because they rung us up for Long Islands. Yeah, which I'm sure screwed up the Midori count, but whatever.
Well, I mean that's what we do because we don't have
it for Long Island
AMF or for well, I've never had anyone order a Tokyo tea, but we have people order AMFs and it's just a ring in a Long Island and then substitute. One time someone was like, I'd like an adios, and I was like, oh, you mean like an AMF? And he's like, no, an adios. And I'm like, he's like, it's like a Long Island but blue, and I was like,
an adios.
So an AMF.
So is that but like with blue curacao instead of like regular triple sec? Like oh fuck. Who the fuck team take a shot?
Wait, who did that? Take a shot. Oh, I see it. What the hell? That was a long time. Wait, who did that? A fucking Westie did it. Hold on.
Oh god damn it.
By the way, I anticipated this and I cleaned my shot glasses. I was so scared you guys were gonna be. By the way, you guys got away easy last night because last night I would have drank out of the dirty shot glass.
You didn't?
To be fair, because I washed them today. One of them was like old alcohol, but the other one was just dusty. So technically, I would have just like blew in it and just drank. That sounded weird, but I would have just blew the dust out then drink out of it.
Just blow it out, guys. Just do you.
Wait, is that cask actually have something in it?
Yeah.
Because I just saw you get it from
He has done that at least minimum once per stream.
Are you serious? I've never seen him do that.
Manuel, I've said it. I've done it since I've gotten it. I've done it multiple times.
I'm not gonna. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. It could be because I'm pouring at the time when he's doing it, but still, I've never seen that.
We're just that much in sync
vodka
that you just
pineapple
never
is also
noticed.
good.
Wait, what's good?
Ooh,
Vodka pineapple.
sorry.
Which does not have a name. I don't think it has a name.
Pineapple juice like covers like the taste of alcohol perfect.
I think vodka. Wait, either vodka pineapple or vodka grapefruit is a Greyhound. I don't remember which one.
Oh, rest in peace, freeze up.
I think it's grapefruit.
Oh god. Yo, Mystery New! Without me even fucking oh damn. Like right on fucking sync.
Oh, sorry.
I'm gonna go
hold
to
on.
Twitch so I
need
can
to breathe.
see.
Breathe, man. Breathe.
Okay.
Oh, I got like tears in my eyes. You guys ever watch what's
Dragon
it
Ball
called?
Z?
No, not Ever After. Was it Ever After?
It was the live action fairy tale thing?
It was Cinderella. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. It was Cinderella, but Drew Barrymore played Cinderella. It was I love that movie. There was no music. It was not a musical. It was just Cinderella. What the fuck?
Oh,
Drew
never
Barrymore?
mind then. I thought it was like this spoof Disney musical thing.
It was like from the 90s. I just remember that it was called Ever After. It was called Ever After Cinderella Story. The only reason I remember that because in the trailer, and when I was a kid, I remember I saw the trailer a lot when I watching TV. But there's a scene where she goes to the ball. She's like, "Breathe, just breathe." So yeah, just
that's a good song.
Right now. But oh yeah, that is a song too, isn't it? But,
another day.
Ooh, sorry. Okay. Why is your screen like?
My screen?
1 second.
Your screen's like 480. Like it's like, you know what I mean? I don't know how to describe that.
There we go.
There you go.
I hadn't clicked % yet.
Ooh,
it was like
Okay.
standard def.
So the first
Wait. I'm gonna start
on a timer.
Yeah, we'll put on a timer.
Okay,
then-
so I kind of changed what I was gonna do because originally I was gonna do
Sorry.
a presentation just on like scary
Gotcha.
audio recordings. But then I couldn't find enough that I like actually thought were scary. So
I'm
I'm gonna give you nightmares after this.
Like, there are some creepy ones. I was like, I can't sleep after
well,
this.
a lot of the ones I found were just like, here's an actual audio of a man getting eaten by a bear, and I'm like, I'm not putting
Classic.
that on.
No, but there was one where it's all like, "Come help me! I'm kidnapped" or whatever, and it's like, "What the fuck? Who sent this?" Anyways.
But here are some that we thought. So first, the sound. Apparently, planets make sounds. That we've been able to hear with satellites, and most of them sound kind of like Jupiter, which I will play for you first.
So
Wait, it's getting there. Do you hear it? Can you hear it?
No.
I think.
Oh,
maybe
wait,
turn it up. Crank it up. I think I actually can hear it. Usually we have an issue with this.
Can you hear it now?
Yeah. What is that?
That's the sound of Jupiter. Most planets seem to sound kind of like this, but like in different tones.
Like a synthesizer?
Yeah.
Like,
I was gonna say it sounds like Little Peep's about to drop something fire.
Yeah,
right now.
exactly.
Is there like 12-hour long compilations of just Jupiter sounds on YouTube?
Actually, on YouTube they have they're like 3 hours of Mars sounds. Like
That is the perfect lucid dreaming material. Oh my god.
And then there's Saturn, which sounds like this.
Oh yeah, now that's where like the demons are.
Oh yeah, this just gets worse and worse. At first I was like, "What? This is Scooby-Doo level stuff," but this is.
The devil is there. The actual devil is there.
Okay, so
It was funny because at first it kind of sounded like the PlayStation logo, was like ding, ding,
Oh, God.
little drops.
those were just two of the sounds, and I just thought it was funny because at first everyone was like, "Oh my god, Jupiter sounds so scary," and then I found Saturn, and I was like, "Why is no one talking about this
Yeah,
one?"
no, that sounds like nightmare fuel. That sounds like
way
it could,
scarier.
it sounds like it belonged in an Echo Dolphin game.
Okay, but anyways, now for what I'm actually going to talk about. The Exorcism of Anneliese Michel, or
Ooh,
Anneliese.
nice bait and switch.
Well, it wasn't really a bait and switch because they were all going to be part of the same presentation, and then I just decided to expand on this one because it's a lot easier than expanding on Saturn. So I believe it's Michel because she is German. So I'm going to say Michel. I apologize if I am saying that correct. are incorrectly.
If it was French, it'd be like Michel.
Plus
like,
some extra creepy stuff. The extra creepy stuff already happened. Okay. So Anneliese Michel. Anneliese Michel was born on the 21st of September 1952 in Lieblefing, Bavaria, West Germany. Anneliese grew up devoutly Catholic, attending Mass twice a week.
Red flag.
So, original diagnosis. When Anneliese was 16, she suddenly blacked out at school and seemed to be walking around in a daze.
Also drink.
Wait, where's my timer? Oh, yeah, that was a drink. Sorry.
Did not remember this event. Her friends and family said it was like she was in a trance. A year later, Anneliese woke up in a similar state, which caused her to wet the bed. She also went through a series of convulsions. She visited a neurologist and was diagnosed with temporal lobe epilepsy. This disorder causes seizures, memory loss, and visual auditory hallucinations. Temporal lobe epilepsy can also cause Geschwind syndrome, which is marked by hyperreligiosity.
There's an actual thing for that? Holy shit.
Religiosity.
That's an actual symptom of like certain mental. Yo. Also, drink.
I don't know if it has to do with this, but we did do one of my psychology classes. We learned that people that are like going through profoundly religious experiences usually have overactive amygdalas.
Oh. Yeah, I can see that.
So psychiatric treatment. These pictures are not of her. Dilantin in June 1970, after her third seizure, Anneliese was prescribed the anticonvulsion drug Dilantin. This did not alleviate the problem, and she began seeing devil faces everywhere she went. Aolept. Anneliese was then prescribed Aolept, which is used to treat various psychoses, including schizophrenia, disturbed behavior, and delusions.
Oh, God.
By 1973, Anneliese suffered from depression and began hallucinating while praying. She heard voices telling her she was damned and would rot in hell. She also became intolerant of sacred Christian places and objects. She was in a psychiatric hospital at this point, but treatment was not helping.
Your psych medication really sucked back then. Also drink.
So despite all of this, in 1973, Anneliese graduated high school and started attending University of Würzburg. Her classmates described her as withdrawn and very religious. San Damiano, which is a church in Italy. I looked it up. So Anneliese went to San Damiano with a family friend. During the trip, Anneliese claimed to be unable to enter the shrine, saying the soil burned like fire. She was unable to look at a picture of Jesus. The people who were praying to her looked like they were gnashing their teeth. And the family friend concluded that Anneliese was suffering from demonic possession.
There's only one explanation.
Demons.
Anneliese and her family and her community became convinced and consulted with many priests asking for an exorcism. The priests declined and recommended she continue medical treatment. Official approval for an exorcism is only given when a person strictly meets a set criteria. Only then are they considered to be suffering from possession or infestatio. And this is true from like a lot of stuff. It's actually not like easy to get an exorcism, especially now. It's like gotten progressively harder.
Because of how many other things it could be.
I think the Pope at this time was actually slightly more
dogmatic
pro exorcisms than the one before him. But yeah, and exorcisms have gone down even more since this case.
I mean, really, like they usually just make shit worse in story and narratives. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, the movies have taught me anything.
Solution. Anneliese worsened physically. She ripped clothes off of her body, compulsively performed up to 400 squats a day. She crawled under a table and barked like a dog for 2 days. She ate spiders and coal, bit the head off of a dead bird, and licked her own urine from the floor. And
wait, why was her urine? Okay.
I don't know, Manuel.
Trying to get the coal out of her urine.
Why was the urine on the floor?
In 1973, she started treatment with Tegretol, an anti-seizure drug, and mood stabilizer. She was also prescribed other antipsychotic drugs, which she apparently took throughout her exorcism time. But her symptoms only worsened, and she began to manifest growling, seeing demons, and throwing things. This is a quote from her. She would say, "I am nothing. Everything about me is vanity. What should I do? I have to improve. You pray for me."
There's something poetic about that.
I know.
Exorcism approval. So Anneliese and her mother found a priest, Ernst Alt, who I believe is the man on the left, who believed her possession He's one of these two. I think he's the one on the left. And was granted. So they petitioned Bishop Joseph Stangl, who approved the request and granted local priest Arnold Renz permission to perform an exorcism.
Dude on the right, deadass looks like one of the priests straight out of the Exorcism.
I believe he was the bishop. And it was ordered to be done in total secret.
And I just remember there was I forgot what I was watching. Maybe it was The Simpsons. I don't know what the fuck it was. It was just like a meme where it's like, we need to do an exorcism. I need an old priest and a young priest. And this reminds me of this, because it's always.
And then both of them are gonna die.
Yeah. The exorcisms. The first session was on September 24th, 1975.
About I'm sorry, about how old was she at that point?
She would be in 1975. She's born in 1952, so she would be.
Oh, she's
like 23. Okay, all right.
She's like 22, 23. Yeah.
Okay.
Anneliese talked increasingly about dying to atone for the wayward youth of the day and the apostate priests of the modern church.
Oh God.
Anneliese's parents stopped consulting doctors on her request and relied solely on the exorcism rites.
Oh, drink.
Anneliese went through 67 exorcism sessions once or twice a week, lasting up to 4 hours at a time. And this took place over about 10 months in 1975 to 1976.
Yeah.
How do you not hit like? What's the number of exorcisms that you hit, and you're like, you know what?
I believe it's until the person's exorcised or they die.
Yeah, exactly.
At a certain point, I'm like, man, this shit ain't working. Like,
there was that exorcism that apparently the Exorcist was based off of in the U.S. I forgot who the fuck it was, where it was, but I was reading the book of the actual account. And I remember I was like, this sounds terrible to say. I'm a little buzzed already. Sorry if I say this wrongly, but like, I never thought an exorcism was kind of as boring as it is when you actually do it. You probably just pray. And you just pray over them and read from the Bible and then like throw holy water on them.
It's 4 hours. I feel like in the movies, they only show the exciting parts.
Yeah,
because I mean they have to make it interesting.
Yeah,
so.
Basically you just pray a lot.
These are
Jesus Christ!
God.
These are actual pictures of Anneliese during exorcisms. During the exorcisms, Anneliese revealed that she was possessed by 6 demons: Cain, Judas Iscariot, Adolf Hitler, Nero, Fleischmann, who was a disgraced priest, and Lucifer. The demons apparently argued with each other. The demons argued with each other. Hitler would say people are stupid as pigs. They think it's all over after death. It goes on. And Judas would say that Hitler was nothing but a big mouth with no real say in hell.
Also, if there was any sort of creep, that sounds legit.
That
like, do y'all ever see Little Nicky?
I also just find it interesting, though. I don't know when Fleischmann was relevant or his story, but I feel like Cain, Judas Iscariot, Lucifer, like very old beings, and then Hitler.
Wasn't he the one who made like this kind of animation that was in Cuphead? She was
born in 52.
That's not Fleischmann.
What was the word? What was the name?
Of who?
Also Nero.
The art. Oh yeah, Nero. That's a fucking like Roman emperor who like burned the shit out of fucking everything.
He's the one who played his heart.
The Cuphead. The Cuphead animation style. What was that called? Isn't that Fleischhead like or something?
I think it is Fleisch something, but I don't think it's Fleisch.
Okay, anyway,
yeah.
So physical effects. These are more pictures. On the top here, you can see Anneliese being restrained by her mother during the exorcism.
Oh, luckily she's about to do a DDT.
Here, you can see her being helped to move around and to kneel down. She was frequently restrained so priests could conduct the exorcism rites. She broke bones and tore tendons in her knees from continually kneeling in prayer.
Sounds like
she also
Catholic
slowly
Church.
stopped eating. She was unable to move by herself.
Oh my God.
Yeah, probably. Yeesh.
On July 1st, 1976, at the age of 23, Anneliese Michel died of malnutrition and dehydration in her home.
Holy fuck.
That
picture right. Yeah.
That's what she looked like before, and that is what she ended up looking like.
Does it give me flashbacks to that one Scientology presentation I did?
She weighed 66 pounds at her death.
Gosh.
Her body was exhumed and buried in a nicer coffin 2 years after her death, because it was said that basically she had to be buried in a hurry, and her parents felt like she wasn't in, they wanted to put her in a nicer coffin. The priests that were present at the exorcism were discouraged from seeing her remains. One of the priests, I believe, said that they weren't even allowed in the mausoleum.
That's
drink. I'm pretty sure you missed a couple drinks.
And I did. No. I've been keeping track of it.
Her grave remains a pilgrimage site to this day.
Jesus.
Wait, where's she buried? In Italy?
No,
Or
she's buried in
Germany? Well, in
In
Germany.
Germany.
Are you
Or,
good
like,
for
West
this next
Germany
drink at the
doesn't exist
13-minute
anymore.
mark? So look, because you just took a
Anneliese
drink. Don't worry about that
grave.
one.
The trial. So,
Oh god.
Anneliese's parents, as well as the 2 priests, were charged with negligent homicide.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. Now that we're here in this part of it, I know this story just because of this. I don't think I ever heard the actual exorcism part.
And you know this story because of the movie that was made off of it.
Yes, that's exactly
the
what
the 2 priests were found guilty and were sentenced to 6 months in jail, which was later suspended, and 3 years of probation. The parents were exempt from any punishment as they had suffered enough, which was criteria for sentencing in German law. I don't know if it still is, but it was then.
They suffered enough.
Imagine being a judge and being like, y'all lost your child? Like, what worse can you do?
And then,
damn.
This is a picture at the trial, which looks like it's from a movie, to be honest.
Yeah, it does. There's like
this
staged.
is Ernst Alt at the. So yeah, that the guy on the left, that was Ernst Alt, one of the priests. This is Arnold Rentz, the other priest. This is Anneliese's mother, Anna, and Anneliese's father, Joseph.
I feel like if you're a priest, you shouldn't, like, by default, you shouldn't be allowed to have a goatee. I don't know. Also drink.
No, the one on the far left, I just want to go see. He looks a lot like Anton LaVey. Anton LaVey. That's who I thought it was.
Yeah.
So
that's what I mean. The fucking goatee, like, immediately, you know?
Movies. The Exorcism of Emily Rose, which is the one that Manuel is probably thinking of, because that one, but that is heavily based off of this. Requiem, which I believe I've seen, and then Anneliese, the Exorcist tapes, which is also obviously based on this, are all loosely based on Anneliese's story.
Podcasts.
The Exorcism of Emily Rose focuses more on the trial, but has like flashbacks.
Was that part of like a whole, like, did they attempt, is that one of the ones where they attempted to do like a whole like little like cinematic multiverse?
No.
There's one exorcism series like that.
That wasn't part of the Conjuring universe, because everything.
There we go. That's what I was thinking.
No, it wasn't.
Okay. Annabelle is part of the Conjuring universe, kind of. So like Anneliese, Annabelle.
Yeah,
I can
see that.
There's some confusion.
So multiple podcasts have covered the story. Case File, True Crime Podcast, a little bit grim, and That's Why We Drink, Ghost Town, Creep Street, and The Devil in the Details. Probably more as well, but those are the ones that were listed on Wikipedia.
Hold on. Why don't we call our podcast That's Why We Drink?
Well, because
copyright reasons.
Yeah, because somebody else thought of it up first.
And then
reasons why we drink.
Multiple songs and
legally
books.
Distinct.
Multiple songs and books are reference the story Anneliese by Public Image Limited, which was the band of someone who was before he was in a more famous band. I don't remember which one it was. I'll check that later. Unexplained by Richard McLean Smith, which is a book. The song Anneliese by Hellripper.
That sounds like a death metal band.
That sounds like a dope ass song.
The song, not sung, the song Communion of the Cursed by Ice Nine Kills uses actual audio clips from Anneliese's exorcism.
Is that verified? Or did they just like say it?
Oh, you can find the audio clips.
Yeah.
They are very readily available.
We can sample it.
During the trial, the defense used recordings of the exorcism to assert their claim that Anneliese was possessed. Original audio recordings can still be found online today.
Huge appreciation for the bottom line of text being read.
So we are now going to listen to some actual audio clips from Anneliese's exorcism. This is a video that kind of goes through. She had a different voice for each of the demons that was possessing her. So this will kind of show each of those. Yes, thank you. An ex-Sex Pistol. Thank you, Mystery Otaku.
Okay. Yeah, Public Image Limited was started by an ex-Sex Pistol. I assume not Johnny Rock.
Hold up.
But anyways.
So I did not create this video. I probably should have put who did create it, but thank you to the person who created it. This is her normal voice.
Let's put it in a doobly-doo later on.
Yeah.
Oh. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
So just remember, this is what her voice normally sounds like.
I was about to say she's speaking German.
Breakthrough.
Anyways.
So this is the voice of Hitler.
If she's not shouting. Yeah, sounds like Hitler.
Fun fact, you can also find full translations of the entirety of the audio clips. They are subtitled into English.
Drink.
Good God.
Kane's not even saying shit, just like groaning.
He's old.
Well, Kane would be like one of the first men, for the record, but yes.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, he's very old.
Precisely what, the fourth one?
And here's Nero.
I don't understand German, but I'm assuming he's telling everybody to burn everything.
He's telling everyone that he's upset that he's speaking German now because they're the ones who eventually took, ended Rome.
That is exactly how that happened. Wait.
I don't know what this music in the background is.
Drink.
It's Saturn. It's Saturn. Or Jupiter, I mean. Wait, which is the creepy one?
Saturn would be it. Jupiter's like chill ambient noise. Saturn's nightmare fuel.
Yes.
Oh, wait, I want to hear Judas.
No!
Judas!
Die müssen in eigenen Seminaren ausgebildet werden, die dürfen nicht auf die anderen Universitäten.
I like how Judas is like so like coherent.
Seriously!
I mean, there are like hours of these tapes. So
Were they trying to talk to Judas then? There was a
I know.
conversation.
Wait, guys,
hold up.
listen to this one.
Hold on, wait.
This one is the creepiest, in my opinion.
Im Namen deines Sohnes, den Jungfrau, im Namen Jesu, befehle ich dir auszufahren.
Drink.
Im Namen des dreifaltigen Geistes befehle ich dir auszufahren und nicht.
Good God.
This is what I sound like after people make 3 shot redemptions.
I spit all over my mic.
Okay, so that is, if you so choose, seriously, just type.
Yeah, I'm gonna do this.
Just type her name into YouTube. You'll find videos. There's literally one where it's like part 1. It's the entire thing is translated into English. Now, whether or not she was actually possessed or just mentally ill is up for debate.
It's a very thin line sometimes.
Yeah.
I would say there are some signs that it was just mental illness. The fact that all of the demons were still speaking German and not speaking
a tongue that she didn't know.
Yeah, like what I was saying about the Nero thing, like he wouldn't be speaking German.
But
he'd be speaking Latin, which is like, oh shit, we know how that sounds.
Maybe demons don't have the power to give you a new language. I don't know.
I mean, maybe it's like playing an instrument, right? Like if you blow through a trumpet, it's going to sound like a trumpet no matter what.
Yeah.
Even if you're used to playing clarinet, if you blow into a trumpet, it's different, right? But if you blow into a woodwind instrument, all of a sudden it sounds different.
Yeah. So
I'm not going to lie. If I ever write a movie on exorcism, I'm stealing that explanation from Hal. That's
it makes sense.
It could also be, there were people that said that she wasn't taking her medication correctly. Like if she was getting she wasn't necessarily taking as much as she should when she was getting passed away. Regardless, there was negligence on some account.
Somebody fucked up.
Someone did something. And still to this day, because of it became like a national story in Germany because of the trial.
I mean, the idea that they were telling the priest like not to like look at it, it's like that's kind of weird.
Well, I think they were just saying like they don't have the right.
No,
I get that explanation.
They did also say when they exhumed her body that she did show normal signs of decomposition, which I guess maybe they were thinking like if she was really possessed, she wouldn't have decomposed. But I don't know if that's how possession works. It's not like they were saying she was a vampire.
Right, like a lot of it's like very like according to what you believe.
But I think this one is just interesting because there are audio recordings. I feel like a lot of exorcisms don't have that because they are so infrequent. in centuries since we've had audio recordings.
Like the requirements are like fucking.
There's also a video.
Yeah.
There's a video that's very similar to this that shows in Emily Rose like the different demons that are possessing her and like how the actress handles it. And I think she does a pretty good job. It's fun fact. It's the actress I believe that plays the sister of Dexter.
Dee Dee?
Oh,
Dexter. I'm pretty
Dee
sure.
Dee's a whole chaos demon by herself.
But that is all I have for you today because yeah, it started off as just creepy audio and then I was like, I'm just gonna delve into this story because it's a fairly famous exorcism and
it's funny.
Drink.
Yeah, I can't remember which DTL. Oh, DTL. Sorry, it was last Halloween when I was doing a DTL based on the true stories, where like I wanted to do one on real exorcisms. Don't get me wrong, I would have not have been like your presentation. It would have been like a bunch of others.
Great
Yeah,
presentation,
yeah.
and all.
Oh, that was really good. I'm not even gonna lie. Shit, I'm drunk.
No, you don't say.
Hold on.
Word.
It's been a while since I've been this drunk this early. Hold
Been a
on.
while.
My brain.
We're like a half hour in, bud.
Exactly.
But
No,
I was basically like, how am I actually going to possibly actually like somewhat scare these people? And I was like, I have to do something
oh, the
that is
Saturn.
either audio or video related because just a story, I feel like, I don't know if that would really scare you guys.
It depends on the story. Like if you set up a certain way, like it
Yeah.
can.
Well, I will
but,
say
like,
it also depends how sensitized you are. Because when I first started reading our No Sleep, for anyone that doesn't know, that's a subreddit where people
You've
post-
written our.
I have. I have gone viral on our No
Yeah.
Sleep. People are still waiting for the
Talk
next one.
about
It's
it.
been like 4 years.
Talk about
I tell you, Molly.
No,
now
because
is
it's
the
been
time-
like 4 years. I don't know when I'm going to write it again.
But it doesn't matter. That's the point. That's actually the good thing. It almost like you could be one of those people, like like the people who, like it looks like you intended that. Just
Yeah, I
own
know.
it.
It actually would work with the story, but
Yeah, just own
people
it.
will
point-
dead ass drop an ARG for
everything
like
on
5 to
our
10
No
years.
Sleep
Come
is,
back to it.
if you are going to comment, everything is to be treated as if it is 100% true.
Yeah.
And it's all just creepy stories. And when I first started reading that shit, I would like not be able to sleep. And now I'm like not really phased by it. So it really just,
Yeah,
like, once
I
you get-
understand that.
you get kind of,
After a
should've
while,
had-
you get
I see it.
desensitized, right?
Yeah.
We
You
should've
Like,
had-
oh, there's a skeleton with blood eyes in this one. Oh,
it also depends.
like-
'Cause a lot of them, they go more into just kind of like dark fantasy than they do.
Yeah.
Like they end up, especially
Mm.
series will oftentimes end up being more like dark fantasy than, which is fine. I love that shit. Like,
We,
But, like,
but there's
But,
a
like,
lot
if
of
you-
really good stories on there. Highly recommend. People have ended up publishing things that they've
Yeah.
originally written on our No Sleep. So,
there's
It is a
recommend
great
that
writing
subreddit.
exercise.
The-
Like
the-
a
the-
and
great
it's
way to
also
like.
just a great, if you ever want spoopy stories, recommend, especially just like, and if you're worried like, oh, well, how do I know if it's a good one? Just literally go on the hot page.
yeah. There
Like,
was
that's how it is for everything on Reddit. That means that other people like it.
ooh,
like-
shit, man, burping like
Honestly,
crazy.
even if it's shitty, I'll go for that. I'll read Jeff the Killer.
I had one story that I was very proud of, but it was before my viral one and no one read it. And I'm like, they don't let you repost stuff on there. I'm like, damn it.
Aw.
Listen, it's never too late.
It was funny because this week we did UPZ and we did internet spoofs, and I tried to bring up the r/no sleep thing, and nobody knew what it was. And I was like,
What?
should
I
have
should have been there. Do it
Yeah,
again.
should have-
Do you
should
talk
have had
about
Molly-
SCPs?
That was in the notes, but like it was hard to bring. Like the only thing that anyone was like, by anyone I mean the other host, like Nyaru, and we had Q, by the way. Q was the other the guest host. The only thing people were really responding to like have a conversation where it was just Manuel talking like for an hour was about the darknet shit, deep web, dark
Because I
web.
recently.
You
there's
serious?
also-
You got a
There's
fucking expert right here.
also a subreddit that's phantom drama or like hobby drama, and it's basically just like niche
r/Twitch
hobbies
fails.
and like it's just niche hobbies and the random drama that happens. And then recently there was a Neopets drama with Neopets NFTs. That's we don't need to get into it. But Neopets is written in NFTs. It's
I love
official.
it. I love it.
But they had there was one about SCPs. And SCP, like apparently they're not as creepy necessarily. Like a lot of them are more wholesome nowadays. But if anyone doesn't know what SCPs are, look them up because a lot of them are terrifying and
Listen,
will keep you up at night.
the entire lore just behind the SCP fandom and creator base is enough to like have you entertained for fucking weeks.
That's pretty funny.
And
Sorry,
the drama that happened was because SCP changed their logo to be rainbow for Pride Month, and this was in like 2019, and drama ensued.
I mean, there's a lot of things that was definitely a thing that like triggered a whole lot of motherfuckers. There's also, but
there's like a thing that's called like DCP now. That's like it's basically like the same thing, but like the conservative version, and it's apparently
because the conservative version of like a popular thing has never gone wrong ever.
You mean like not? You don't mean like conservative versus liberal, right?
I do.
Like, you do.
No
you
porn,
mean exactly that.
No gay.
I mean, it was literally like
no fun.
the people that were upset that they made the logo a rainbow for a month.
So SCP, but everything can be defeated by President Trump.
Okay.
Yep.
So,
maybe.
So
real fast.
Really funny.
Real fast. So last night after the Drink Talk roll, which is our D&D stream on Fridays. By the way, real fast. Mr. Taku said that we have the wrong A to J redhead on UPZ. That's hilarious. Just want to point that out.
Does Q like spoopy stuff?
She was the one who suggested the idea to me personally, so I'm like, you should be on like months ago, like in August. And then when it came time, I think she was a little low key tired because of the con that she just went to. But
con
anyway,
illness.
But I will also say, like a spoopy person, I love spoop.
Also, anything SCP, I literally fucking binged every single fucking SCP entrance I could in like a span of a week. So if you need somebody, no, I want to though.
After Drink Talk roll last night, I started drinking, per usual, like as I do on a normal Friday night. And I put on I just put on a random YouTube video for background noise while I just like was doing my shit. It was actually not even my room, but at some point it went to this video about Rick Derringer. And if you don't know who Rick Derringer is, I won't even get into the topic of what the video was about, but you do probably know him if you're ever a fan of wrestling or memes.
The name sounds familiar.
Because he's the guy who does Hulk Hogan's theme song, Real American. Like, I am a real American. Fight for the... anyways,
is that where the song. Ric Flair came out of? Or is that like a person or something?
So anyways, I love that song, and this video was about Rick Derringer, and I was just listening to it, and it's about his actual rock and roll history. So at some point, the dude brings up like, "Oh yeah, you were yelling at me. I know you were waiting for this. Yeah, that's
on my list, song. Mystery.
But you know what he said? And I just found this out the other day. I found this out yesterday. The other day, I'm telling the story so bad I'm drunk. Apparently, Rick Derringer, after that Hulk Hogan song, which is a nice song, a nice cheesy 80s song, it's not like that crazy. Apparently, he's gone right-wing evangelical, and he re-recorded that song and debuted it on Alex Jones's show.
That's like another level.
Of course!
And then I went to go look him up, and he's a mad Trumper. He's like, what do you call those people who think that, like,
Q-bots.
Yeah, he thinks Trump won the election bullshit. So I'm like, oh my god.
Did you see the fucking Jordan Klepper shit?
Wait, real quick. I just want to say, I believe I might have been saying SPC. I meant SCP.
Oh yeah,
no, you said SCP.
You said SCP.
Oh, I was saying, okay. I was like, after Mystery said special containment procedure, I was like, wait, fuck, was I saying
No, you were saying SCP.
Oh yeah.
Apparently Molly's drunk too. So I'm gonna
I am a little tipsy. I had brunch. I have not
brunch?
Eaten since
brunch?
then.
No, same.
Yeah, I had
brunch on a Saturday, very classy.
Oh my god.
Well, it was brunch time. That's why I say it was brunch. It wasn't.
Okay. Everyone doesn't have to go, but I need to go pee. Everyone take a pee break. Let's pool party.
You can absolutely.
And I'm also going to empty out my.
Oh my god! Can we change it from CCP to SCP? SCP break.
We can right now it's a pool party. We should do SCP.
Wait, what would that stand for though? Standard containment P.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
It's contained in the toilet.
Super
cool piss. All right.
Like the video that Pleiades posted in our Discord today, which has.
Oh, wait, Molly, you have to do a backflip. Molly, because
I can't do a backflip. I don't know how to do a backflip.
Space.
Or yeah, that's why. I can't do that if I had space.
Listen, like I haven't been able to do that on a trampoline, let alone like without assistance. So I can't even fucking imagine. Have you actually been ever able to do a backflip?
No.
I was gonna say, I don't know where the hell Manuel got this. Oh, well, oh, yeah. Ooh, wait. Okay, so then, what? Okay, so what are your favorite SCPs then, or at the very least, like the stories around them?
I haven't read that many. The ones I really like stand out to me is I remember there was this one like it was like a notebook or something, and you weren't supposed to look at it, but you like if you saw it, you just had like an undeniable urge to look at it. And then there's also the one where if you aren't looking at it, it will move towards you. But if you are looking at it, you're fine.
Yeah,
the fucking big ass fucking
that's
thing
like probably
in the
the
game.
most famous one. Yeah, that's like the most famous one. I feel. I know a lot of people were also apparently upset because there's literally one that's like there's this unidentified thing floating around Earth that was able to create a Tumblr account that mostly posts like Homestuck OC shit. And I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. But a lot of people were upset about that. Because it was Homestuck related. I'm gonna go put some food in the microwave. I'll be right back.
Oh God! Oh shit! Did Molly backflip?
No.
She didn't backflip, did she? Oh wait, who left? How did Pleiades
Everybody.
leave? He's hosting this. Wait, I hear how, but I don't see how.
Yeah, it's called a wireless mic, nerd.
Oh, but yeah, Pleiades is gone, even though he's How does that work? I snorted. Oh God, Pleiades just pinged us on Discord. He's like, my internet died. Hold on, I actually don't know what he said. I'm just guessing that's what it is. Connection broke up. Should fix very soon. We're still alive, bro. I hear Molly out like somewhere.
Her and I are both heating up food in the microwave. Not the same one, just to be clear. I don't live.
I know. I was supposed to say like Molly. Like
I don't also live there.
Like you and Molly are waiting for the microwave together. It's like Molly, hurry up. It's like Hal's like waiting for Molly to heat up her fucking tamale or whatever she's eating.
I will say this: if you ever need something for like just like prime background sound,
oh my God,
just like look up like SCP fucking I forget who it does it, but it looks like the same kind of animations that Kurtzgezock uses. But they put that all against SCP stories, and it is a great way to just have something going on in the background while you grind out whatever it is that you're doing at the time.
I'm microwaving food, but I also have a pound cake that was in the freezer, so I'm going to eat it.
Why do desserts taste better frozen?
It's technically Josh's pound cake, but I'll try another one.
Oh wait! Did you ask him if you could have it?
It's my house.
Wait, what are you stealing? What are you stealing?
What a good response!
Wait,
holy moly!
Respect it. I
Did you
love
steal
it.
someone's cake?
No, it's her house. By default, it's hers.
It's a Sara Lee pound cake. It's not like I can't get another one.
Yeah.
Well, still.
No, Josh isn't here.
Molly doing the food equivalent of T-posing out here.
I know, over here like asserting dominance.
I love it.
He has a cake that I made at his house.
Did he throw it away?
Better not. I told him to bring it here on Monday.
So he's just the thing you use to store cakes.
Cakes,
That
exactly.
way you don't consume them all immediately. You can have them later. It's like a little treat.
Yes, he's an inventory cache.
It's like mailing yourself something to like make sure that it's like legally okay. Like, oh, it was in the envelope, so it's fine. It's the same thing. Oh, I gave him the cake, so it wasn't my cake anymore.
This is my alibi.
I'm eating cake he brought. I didn't buy
You mail
the cake.
yourself an idea that's actually a part of like kind of a way you can prove copyright.
Yeah,
Sorta.
You want to keep it sealed though.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Thank you.
prove
That's the
that
biggest
it's
thing.
like-
Yeah.
The idea is you want to mail it like certified, so there's a big paper trail, and that it's signed for all that bullshit. That you never open it.
Mhm.
So because it's dated by by a government agency, kind of bullshit. And
People have
even
said
then,
that, but has
it's
that
question-
ever actually been like
No, it
tried
hasn't.
or
It
used in
hasn't.
court?
It hasn't. And
So it
the
could
only
be.
reason the only reason I know that is because I used to edit for this film company, which I won't name by name, but I used to edit for this film company that does low budget genre movies. Okay, they call it Trauma. And one of my only real, I'm not gonna lie, pretty
I
much
was
the
about.
only,
Wait, did you just say low budget porno movies?
I said genre movies.
Oh,
No,
I was
but
like,
you-
what porno? What the fuck? I was in one.
Whoa! The Lord deepens.
Molly, you said that weird. Anyways, you made that sound like you were in a porno. But anyways, Molly,
No.
I thought that's what
I'm
she
not.
was saying, and everyone
Thank
was just
you.
like
See?
way chill about it. Like,
Wait.
We're
Have y'all not been in a
We're
I
not.
porno?
wasn't.
She was not in a porno. She was in a trauma movie.
I
But
feel very alone now.
one of my big projects when I was there, I wasn't there for very
big
long, so I'm not gonna make it sound like I was there forever. But I mainly edited like behind the scenes features and like documentaries for the real movies. But one of my big projects was editing features for the creator Lloyd Kaufman had this project called like make your own damn movie. He had make your own damn movie, sell your own damn movie, produce your own damn movie, etc. And I used to edit some of the features that he did. And in one of the ones I actually edited, he talked about that whole concept about mailing yourself something, and he pointed out that that's never been used. It's just something that people have been saying for years, and that you can go ahead and try it. And maybe that'll work to copyright your idea the cheap way. But he also pointed out that actually copyrighting your idea is not that expensive, so it's better just to go copyright your idea.
I mean, I understand the concept of it, and it makes sense mechanically speaking, but also like in another like way entirely, it just kind of like makes me think of the whole like meme of like, are you a cop? You have to tell me if you're a cop. They don't have to tell you if they're a cop.
They don't, exactly.
Well, plus it's also like you can't prove that someone stole your idea that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
you could
Like,
like
if someone-
technically prove that you came up with it, like I guess before, but then it's like
But does that really matter?
exactly.
You don't do anything with it.
So yeah, that was a long way for me to say that. I yeah, you weren't here for my trauma presentation, Molly. It was so funny, and I put a picture of you when you were in BC Butcher and everything.
Manuel, I don't know what the fuck this says. I think it says that the
Check it out.
the internet algorithms are too fucking strong. I found a trauma specific e-girl.
This is Molly's movie, and it's signed by some of the cast, and Molly's signature is right there in the corner. That's Molly's signature right there. This was and by the way, it did get an official like nicer DVD release. This was just like the promo thing that I think the director's dad was selling at the premiere that I went to because Molly was in it. But yeah, there's a DVD. Fun fact: if it was in a real case, I probably would have. I guess if it was signed, I wouldn't have done it. But I probably would have thrown it away or sold it when I was getting rid of all my media. But because it was in this tiny little,
You drive me insane.
That's why I still have it. It's just like it literally just sits over there by my pile of junk.
You drive me fucking crazy with that kind of stuff. But listen, unironically, found somebody like and I think it's a gateway to an entire erotica genre completely centered around trauma. It's the weirdest fucking thing. Did not go searching for it. Just happened to come across my feed.
Well, trauma is very famous for its quote unquote tromettes, who are basically like big breasted, like but mind you, like
Big titty goth GF.
Well, Lloyd's very very like pro like feminism, pro everything. He actually refers to them in a way I cannot even say drunk, but but yes.
Nice.
Like gyno something. I know gyno's in there, but yes. But yeah, they're very famous for the tromettes. Technically, Molly would be a tromette.
Well, actually, Molly would be the one to say that.
There's a list on Netflix of the hottest trauma babes. I think.
Are you in there?
Yeah, the top 10. I think
On
I'm in
in
the
the top 10?
Well, I mean, Kansas made it, but
Oh.
I'm in the top 10. Yes.
You better put that on your fucking profile. That's a fucking flex.
There's I think the girl like I used to have fuck, what the hell was she in? Oh no, that's Debbie Rochon. Never mind. She's an actual actress, but she was in a bunch of other genre movies. Those were wild days. I mentioned this on my on our Night of the Living Dead commentary thing that we did with on UPZ with Nyaru, Leslie, and Fotaku, and JD.
That's a great tag.
That the guy who plays the cemetery zombie, like the very first zombie in the world, basically, like the first zombie you see in Night of the Living Dead, his name is Bill Hinsman, and the reason I know him is because he worked on a movie that I helped. Well, I just helped. I wasn't really like in the movie, like doing anything crazy. And that movie ended up getting picked up by Trauma, and that's how all my whole Trauma adventure started. Fun fact.
That's actually so you had no exposure before that.
Well, I was trying to go to film school. This is like when I was really young. This is before I even went to film school, and I did go to film school. By the way.
Okay, so this is before they actually had like digital cameras.
I had no. This was at the start of that. This is the start of the digital revolution. I remember like the red camera was like was creating waves and everything. But anyways, Manuel used to do cool things.
Back when video first started being available, Manuel was there.
Yes.
Another creepy sound, by the way, is if you look up the first ever human voice recorded.
Oh, Molly is the 10th on the list, apparently.
Still top 10.
Top 10 and not 10?
I'm not going to lie. That is kind of true. Like, I think I forgot what presentation. I did another Molly-ish, like, a presentation that you should have been on when you weren't here. What was it? Does anyone remember what that was?
Was it the piss one?
What piss one?
Wait, which one?
The one where you were like, this is a play/musical all about piss. We're going to talk about piss today. It's piss time.
Oh, you're in town.
It is every single thing that he's ever made.
No, I was here for the Urinetown one.
Oh, okay.
That was a good musical.
I assume if you weren't here, then I was here. So
fun fact:
I remember.
Before the pandemic, what happened? Jesus Christ Superstar was getting
remember those times.
Jesus Christ, exactly. It was over 2 years ago. Jesus Christ Superstar was starting its national tour, which was all canceled because of the pandemic. But it's back on, and Jesus Christ Superstar I think is opening in San Francisco, and I'm like, do I want to go? And it's not because of the pandemic, like I'll mask up and whatever. But I'm like, I went to go see Beauty and the Beast a couple weeks ago at a local production. Fun fact, and nobody seemed to know who she was. Renee O'Connor. If you ever watch Xena, Xena's sidekick is a girl named Gabrielle. The girl who played the woman who played Gabrielle directed the Beauty and the Beast production I went to go see. And I found out that she had been in other productions, but under a stage name. And I guess only now she started. I guess it's her daughters and all these. I guess she lives by me, apparently, for the record. But
makes sense. I mean, y'all are in Cali, so
yeah, that is true. And I did meet her at Party City one time. I remember, like, I kind of lost my shit. It's like over 10 years ago. I was like, "Oh my god, you're Renee O'Connor." She's like, "Oh yeah," and she had her son there, and her son's like, "Oh, does he know you from Xena?" And I'm like, technically, actually, my favorite movie of hers was Darkman 2, but yes, I know you from Xena as well. Can you sign this thing for me? And I had to sign like a random paper that I had it was during Halloween. I had a clipboard, like, for Halloween bullshit. Thank God I had a plain white sheet of paper in there. And I'm like, can you just sign this? And I still have that somewhere. I still have that under my computer. No joke. I should look that up later. Anyways,
are you sure that it's under your computer still?
It is, because I actually threw away a bunch of shit under there recently, and it's still there. How? You should go next. I want to add one more thing to the presentation, and I'll do that while you're right now.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. I probably should go next, but like I'm gonna tempt fate and keep drinking.
Hope this is the right screen. We'll find out.
Da ba da ba da. It's wait timer. I called you.
I got it.
It's fine. I'm waiting.
Start 3, 2, 1,
start.
Cool. So
I called you Callie, by the way. Please, just want to point that out.
I'll take it as a compliment.
Manuel, please stop interrupting my very important which cryptos would I fuck presentation. Thank you.
I would fuck Bigfoot. I would fuck Bigfoot.
I just wanted to do something slightly lighthearted / still kind of like Halloween-y / creepy. So I just picked my top 5 favorite cryptids / creatures that I like talking about because they're cool and neat, and I think if anyone wants like scary, spooky stories that are like full with like all kinds of like random crazy lore, these are 5 things you can get into and have fun with. Or fuck them. It's basically whatever you want to do, really, if you think about it.
It's pretty much Monster Musume.
I am skipping the staples today. So
No!
I am not talking about Bigfoot. I am not talking about the Chupacabra. I am not talking about Loch Ness, and I am not talking about dragons.
Hold on.
How?
Hold on.
I
How?
feel
Why?
like dragons
hang
are
on,
distinctly
hang on,
apart from those
hang on.
other three.
How? Why did you specify dragons? Those aren't like a cryptid. That's not something people think is real. You'd be fucking surprised, my friend. You can thank the Discovery Channel. And
That-
Animal
yes.
Planet.
The Discovery Channel be making a whole bunch of fucking fake shit.
Hold on. Just two things real fast. I promise I'll be fast. A good YouTuber did a really good video on not reacting, but like going over the dragon video. That's great. I'll link to it. Thank you. But real fast, the Bigfoot thing. It's surprising you skipped over that one because very famously, I think Billiam also mentioned this, by the way, is that Bigfoot was meant to be like, that's a woman and he has big titties. It's a big titty Bigfoot.
All depictions of Bigfoot have like huge breasts, like very prominent. Like if you look at a side profile, you're like, why is it completely flat except for where boobs go?
No, because that dude was on Billy.
Fun fact: when you're talking about audio of possible Bigfoot encounters, a lot of them include whistling. So it is very possible that if there is an ape species,
I can't whistle.
Damn, I thought they would all be like Chewbacca. Like I don't know why, just like guttural sounds.
But no, that dude was on by the way, he admitted he kind of faked that later on. But the dude who took that video, he was on Montel when I was a kid, Montel Williams, by the way. And he mentioned the big breasts and everything. I'm like, dude, he was obsessed with Bigfoot titties. Anyways.
All right, enough of
as I am.
Do you understand? Like furries are a long-standing thing. You tell me there's not a Bigfoot furry like fandom out there? That absolutely is.
Titties. Go on.
Anyway. So you might be wondering why are cryptids so freaking scary? Why do we hear about all these crazy stories? Don't worry, I'll feed you, baby birds. I got a small explanation here. First of all, people need to learn to write shit down. For far too long, including till today, everyone likes to do oral history because it's easy, because you don't have to do anything. You just regurgitate your stupid words to other stupid people.
Listen. Okay, having an oral history means that you had to expend the brain cells to memorize oral stuff, and then somehow that makes you smarter and less lazy.
And forget it. That gives you so much room to forget it. So, let's
suck dick, Socrates.
I hear you all at home. How people are willing to write stuff down. You're being too critical. That's fine. Let's go to the next one. So you're willing to write shit down. I'd like to remind everyone that corrective lenses, aka glasses, the things I wear, did not start showing up until 1300 CE, and they did not become commonplace.
I'm sorry, wait, you say CE?
Yeah,
Common era. Shut up, ladies.
Oh shit!
It's like
unironically, I'm not used to
don't base their life around Jesus.
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
So around 1800 CE is when they started to become popular and common. So like a person like you or me could just like go get glasses if we needed them. So a lot of the encounters people have are they don't see shit. They just don't see it right. Go ahead, Molly.
Molly saw Jersey Devil.
Something kind of similar to this is other things that you have written here is in my dinosaurs class we learned that there's a theory that a lot of like dinosaur fossils, like people might have found them back in the day and been like, holy shit, it's a dragon. Or, like,
it's a dargan.
Or like they see a triceratops and they're like, oh my god, like this is a griffin. Like
yeah.
So
many of those fucking skeletons are just made up.
We'll get to that after one more point. But I hear you at home. I hear you going, no, like people still had okay vision. Like you can't blur lines that bad. Okay, cool. So let's say they're willing to write it down and they have good vision. How the fuck would you bring back any kind of proof that this thing exists? So on the side there, I have a platypus. Imagine getting back to Spain or fucking wherever you're exploring from. And you're like, all right, sir. So you're writing a book about all the good and cool animals we found. So duck plus beaver. Okay, cool. Those are not two things that like fuck. We can't make those fuck. We've tried because kind of spirit. So like, is that like a mammal? It is a mammal. It does lay eggs. Okay, cool. Those are specifically supposed to be mutually exclusive. Also, they have poison feet. Okay, I feel like you're describing a Dungeons and Dragons creature. Yeah. Are you sure you weren't reading a monster manual from Dungeons and Dragons? So like, obviously the easiest way to prove these things is to capture them with film or with photography. But photography wasn't popular till like almost 1900. So how people were bringing back these absurd depictions of all these animals, and I have 3 of the
Drink.
reasonable ones you could mistake for something else on the side.
Kieran.
I already
Is that-
mentioned the platypus.
Did you say
But,
Keenan or Kieran?
Is that
Kieran.
an echidna?
The cheating.
No.
The cheating.
No, it's
if
not an
we're talking-
echidna. It's just a horned lizard, or
Oh,
I don't know the exact specification, but
Echidna's got fucking
like,
6
if
dicks.
I showed you a little picture of that back in the
Those
day,
are
back in
its
1880, and said this is a baby dragon, you'd be like, yeah, fuck yeah, it is. Look at that shit.
I mean,
That's
if you had no frame of
Did it breathe
reference,
fire directly after this photo that you took? You'd be like, yes, it did.
I
It
mean, that's
absolutely
probably,
did that.
Those
that's
aren't
probably
dicks, those are
unironically how
toes.
Komodo dragon got its name.
Can we just go over the fact that those are not dicks, they're toes?
Is
Yes.
that what that is?
Those are its feet. Yes.
Oh really?
It's all curled up. It likes to bite its tail so it can
So
curl
it's-
up and be.
Oh wait, no,
You're
not
like,
that thing. I was talking about like straight up echidnas, like actual
Oh.
echidnas.
Oh.
They got
Oh,
like
you mean,
6
you mean
dicks.
they're like triple hemipene?
yeah, that.
Knuckles.
Yeah.
No, not that one. But I put a giraffe here because this is one that like
giraffe.
people joke
Drink.
all the time that like.
Wait,
oh, they
Knuckles.
confused
Knuckles
it
has
for-
6 penises.
No,
Yo,
3.
y'all ever been higher than a giraffe pussy?
Yes. So
It's like all the
Um,
way up there.
imagine
I mean, if you have edibles when you like fly out to the universe, yeah, I've been higher than that. Anyway,
imagine you 3
my hair's gone.
right now, Manuel. I need you to get on my level right now. I'm about to explain a giraffe to you.
You
Okay.
You said
mean
giraffe
it's-
pussy?
Imagine you 3 are the aristocracy of the country that sent me to go explore, and I come back and say, hey, so I found like a really tall fucking horse. You'd be like, okay, you found a tall horse, good for you. I understand the concept of a tall horse. We have horses, idiot. No, like way tall. Oh, are you
I'd
thinking
be
of a
upset that you
camel?
didn't
No,
bring
no
one back.
humps. This one doesn't have humps. Oh, so are you thinking of like? Are you thinking of a different animal? Well, this one kind of had like little horns or something.
Drink.
No,
Like a deer? Well, no.
Also a purple tongue.
No, not a deer, but it had like short horns, not like antlers, but it did have hooves. Okay, you said horse. Obviously, it has hooves. No. Like deer hooves. They're like cloven hooves. Okay, are you thinking of a deer? No, it's like a different thing. All right, I'm gonna write down dragon, and we're gonna move on because whatever you're doing, I'm not having it.
I would be
You just
upset
keep
that you
adding
didn't come back
adjectives.
with a
We're not
fucking
doing it today.
dragon egg. Or like a fucking infant version of this animal. I would be absolutely upset.
Well,
Needless
I
to
mean-
say, it's very easy to make cryptids real in your head when people describe these wild fucking things.
Yeah. True.
But this is all past tense. We're going to get into my actual things as to why these don't exist, right? And the easiest way to prove that most of these don't exist, unfortunately for someone like me who likes cryptozoology and gets a kick out of just like looking at cool shit, is the now kind of pseudo-defunct 50-500 rule,
Oh,
which is to say that you need approximately 50 of a species to have it continue
Drink.
to exist.
Did
That's
you
a
know?
very low ball number.
Is that wait? Hold on.
No,
Is
but-
that actual thing? And also, where did you get that from? That's a
It
really
is.
interesting
Did you
point.
know? Did you know that apparently, because according to like the mitochondrial Eve theory, there was a point when there was only 200 humans alive.
So this is a sort of outdated theory, but it's like it's what you would learn in like archaeology 101.
Yes,
or something.
exactly.
Like they teach you this so that you can unlearn it later. Like Columbus
Manuel wanted to be an archaeologist at one point.
discovered India. Okay, well he didn't. He like showed up in America and blah blah blah. So
Oh,
like,
like
you
relativity.
learn it to unlearn it later.
Literally,
This is like a base
psychology
rule.
is that you spend
Yeah.
like
Oh, yeah.
years
Real talk.
learning what they used to think, and then you learn, oh wait,
Yep.
no, but this is what they now think.
You learn how they fucked up, so that and then how it got corrected later on, so you could learn how to like correct shit as you go.
But
the
the
way-
50. Go ahead, Manuel.
No, by the way, I wanted to just mention because Miss Chuck brought up a really good point. We also had a cryptid episode about 2 months ago, and he's all like, "Why wasn't How on the cryptid episode of UPC?" I don't know.
Well, you would
I wasn't
think
there.
having an actual internet cryptid on the pod
By the way,
would
no,
be
fun
enough.
Fun fact: if you ever notice how I kept introducing myself as I'm the internet's favorite cryptid, it was all a reference back to that UPZ episode when.
You've
when,
been
like-
doing that for like months. What the fuck you talking
Well, I was
about?
doing it before that too, but still, it was.
All right,
it
I'm
was-
bringing it back in before you
Go
make
ahead.
you drink way too much.
ahead. Go
So
ahead.
the 50-500 rule basically just says that you need approximately 50 of a species to just baseline exist. So if you have, just as an example, tigers. If you have 50 tigers left, you need minimum 50 of them to continue fucking. but you're going to get crazy inbreeding. You're going to get tons of problems. The species is not going to last, but it will last
Alabama
a little bit longer.
tigers.
It worked for the English monarchy.
You need approximately 500 ish of a species to like long last, to like actually try to maybe bring it back into existence.
Is
I'm
this
just saying.
with human intervention, like humans trying to do breeding programs, or just in the wild?
So like I said, it's an outdated theory. So the idea is that if these exist in a bubble, were they allowed to just sort of exist? So like probably with human intervention. So for instance, like pandas or something.
Yeah.
Like we beg them to fuck, but they just won't.
They will not fuck.
I get that. If you put me on camera and said, "That's your wife, figure it out, idiot," I'd be like, I just want to eat bamboo, even though it's not good for me. That's all I'm saying.
They're kind of like they're the antidote to horniness.
Kind of. But the other reason that these things don't really exist is we don't really have any distinct remains of the things they're going to be talking about, like none whatsoever. And we can metagame this and be like, but how? Bigfoot's so intelligent that it actually buries its dead. Elephants have observed elephant graveyards before. It's not unreasonable to think that a very sentient ape could bury its dead. So how?
And my cat can play fetch.
Yeah. If every redneck in America didn't own some kind of metal detector and go out sweeping every single day and dig random spots, I'd trust that too. But like, people dig everywhere. We would have found it. So anyway,
is that what you were talking about? It's kind of like the dinosaur thing where it's like, they thought they were the remains, but nowadays we realize like, oh, this is not.
Like, is there any consensus over the motherfuckers have feathers or not? Like, is that like still up in the air?
Probably had feathers.
Yeah, like you've seen the. Anyways, go ahead and go out.
Exactly.
Well,
see,
later dinosaurs. We're
going to talk about Mothman first because he's
hell yeah.
I just have very brief overviews here, so if you guys want to explore these more at home, you're more than welcome to. All of the ones I've picked are vaguely interesting enough that like I'm giving you a small taste, so that you can go like get interested in this thing.
I fuck Mothman.
East Coast, right?
Country road.
Like New Hampshire Mothman.
To the place.
Yeah, we're talking about Point Pleasant in West Virginia Mothman.
Oh, wait, it literally says
West
it right
Virginia.
there.
Country mama.
This thing that you're seeing
take me
is
home.
vaguely man-sized. It's supposed to be like 7 feet-ish tall. You can see like a little comparison next to like
that is not man-sized. That is NB.
Yeah, I said vaguely man-sized. Is it not enormous and not tiny? Like
you say, that's like top tier NBA side if that.
He's known for flying around and being spooky. Those two things are things he's very good at. But the cool thing about this cryptid is he's usually like the harbinger of bad things. So people often see him like atop a bridge, and then later the bridge collapses, or they see him outside a mine, and then all of a sudden there's a mining accident, and there's like a tunnel collapse or something. So people are like debating whether or not he's like a good guy or a bad guy, because like, is he showing up to warn us because he thinks we're neat and he's cool with us? And maybe he wants to fuck us and make Mothman men? Who knows?
I'd fuck him.
It's like the Banshee.
Is it
the cause, or is it just warning you?
But Deadass? Like an adaptation of the whole like Black Swan thing.
What?
Kind of?
Yeah. A Black Swan event is like when some shit indistinct thing is like everything's fucked.
I thought you meant the Black Swan, like.
So did I.
Anyways. Yeah,
that's a good movie.
But if you're into weird cryptids that have like no proof outside of "I seen it once," then this is a really good place to start. Like, this isn't like I seen footprints in the Appalachian Mountains. This one's just straight up like, dude, do you see this thing on the top right? That looks like a guy with fucking moth wings to me, my man. Like, that shit's super fun. I love when people are like, I have proof, and I'm like, you don't, but I'm excited for you. Like,
I do like this one image though. The image you have in the middle.
Sorry, I'll go back.
Very much so, not moth wings, but that's okay.
Oh,
those are angel wings.
The middle one,
the
one that are like clearly like feather wings folded over. The amount of these cryptids that are unbelievably widely disputed. They look so unbelievably different across different like theologies and places and people. Like, it's insane. This next one's a good example, the Wendigo, which is probably one of my favorites of all time. This one originates with Native American culture, and they are these giant, fast, like humanoid cannibals, and they are supposed to vaguely represent this like trifecta of like the winter cold, this like unsatiable hunger, and this like this inherent selfishness.
Cannibalism too, Electric Boogaloo.
Well, I had to list them. So the winter is like this idea of like desperation. It's getting cold. What are you supposed to eat? The hunger of like, oh, I didn't prepare for the winter. I could eat a guy. I could Jonathan Swift the situation, eat a whole ass baby. Huh?
By the way, the Wendigo's a funny one because like
in Supernatural they talk about how Wendigos are Wendigo, or however you want to say it, is common in Minnesota. Common in Minnesota, which is where I'm from. One of the first episodes of Supernatural season 1. Just fun fact.
I can't watch that because of Native American name.
Yeah, actually it is.
Yeah,
I was actually Minnesota.
Well, Minna means water in either Dakota or Ojibwe. I am sorry, I don't remember which.
Say South Dakota.
That makes sense.
South Dakota.
Oh wait, North Dakota.
Drink.
North Dakota.
North Dakota.
Shit, I fucked up. Anyways,
I mean, it is like that's always been the coolest thing, where it's like, okay, you survive, but at what cost? Is always like the kind of like theme around Wendigo.
This is just like a Native American dude who was really hungry in winter because he didn't like store enough crops. So
exactly.
He just
Manuel, thank you for this wonderful transition.
No, exactly.
Because people sometimes associate them with these like literal actual monsters, but oftentimes they were used to like guilt people who wouldn't prepare well enough for the winter and wouldn't put away enough food. So when people would like resort to like, hey, listen, Joe over there died. The Native American name Joe. Joe over there died.
Yes.
We could just eat him. People are going to be like, okay, that's a you problem. You didn't put away enough stuff. You're a bad person. And then they're like, oh my God, I'm a Wendigo the whole time. They don't literally grow antlers. They don't embody winter. An aura of snow does not follow them where they go. But like, this is how they're personified.
And then they kill people in Until Dawn.
I mean, Molly.
Listen.
That was the monster in Until Dawn, right?
I think
it was.
If not, it's like one of the like very, very adjacent creatures. Like there's Wendigos, then you go even 1 degree off, you're like, oops, I hit skinwalkers, and then you go 1 more degree, you're like, how'd I get to werewolves? Like,
I have like 4 empty Cokes here. How much of this have I drunk?
A lot, it seems like.
Oh my God.
Listen,
Anyways, keep going.
If you haven't played
go ahead.
Until Dawn by now, that game's been out for like 10 years, okay? You deserve the spoilers.
I think I actually
You're not
have
going to play it if you haven't played it by now.
Yeah, spoilers for Harry Potter, by the way, which came out very recently. Harry Potter's the main character, so be prepared for that part.
Listen, I'll have like a really like...
Snape kills Dumbledore.
Maybe this is like a spoiler or whatever. But fucking... goddamn... I think his name is Sang-woo from fucking Squid Game.
Oh, you missed the gaming stream where I gave away the entire Squid Game.
Spoil things.
Just the idea of like you survive, but at what cost?
No, wait, hold on. Right before how it continues, I won't spoil Squid Game, but I want to just say, if you are upset by spoilers of Squid Game, then you are stupid, because Squid Game is a battle royale type show. So by definition, everyone dies except for the main character. So there you go.
I mean, it's not necessarily.
Everyone dies but the main character. Anyway, go on.
But I will say this: at this point, it's like if the shit hasn't, it's been like fucking news headlines for how long?
Game, I'm gonna talk over you and just
the old man controlled everything.
Listen, I'm just saying that one girl could totally hold a knife up to my neck, and
number 67. We all want to fuck number 67. Moving on. So next we're gonna talk about the silliest motherfucker on my entire list, which is the Slide Rock Bolter. This motherfucker sits on mountains and pretends he's a rock, and then when you drive by in your little car, or back in the olden times, you rode by on your horse, he lets go of the mountain and he swoops down to get you and eats you up.
So to be relevant, he's like a sandworm, but he's a mountain worm.
Yo,
but what does on the mountain?
Have you heard of Meat Park USA?
No.
By the way,
oh my God.
this isn't doxing because it's a state, first of all, but she also mentions it on stream. But Nyara lives in Colorado. Next time we have a UPC, I'm going to ask her about this. If she's encountered a slide rock bolter.
Well, I sincerely doubt it because they're not real.
Wyoming or Alaska because so few people live there.
Yeah, exactly. It's like 10 people in Alaska. But anyways.
But if you see their little tail there, it has little claws on it. So everyone thinks that whenever they slide down, they're done. They just crawl back up with their little claw, and then they wait there again until hopefully someone rides by again.
Gyarados to me a little bit.
I'm so glad you
I
mentioned
very much
it.
got like Onyx from Pokemon vibes, where I'm like,
probably
is this
more
gonna
like
come up with
Onyx,
this?
yeah.
Honestly,
But I'm just
realistically,
thinking
this is probably how
Gyarados
Tyranitar
and
is.
Pokemon Snap climbing up the mountain.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, because you have to hit the fucking Magikarp so they like go up the waterfall.
This one was a quick one, but it's one of my favorites because it's kind of silly and fun.
No, listen, this right here, there's an entire expansive thing where like somebody make a flesh part. It's really fucking cool.
It definitely gets off Alaskan bullworm vibe.
Mystery Otaku, imagine a creepypasta where there was an Alaskan bullworm so fucking big that people made a theme park inside of it.
That's Q's new nickname.
I have decided we are moving on. Anyway, this is again one of my super big favorites. The Kelpie. I love this one. It comes from Scottish mythology, and it's this kind of goopy, yucky slime horse. I grew up around horses, so like I have an affinity for them. So I really enjoy when I'm. Yes, I am the male equivalent of a horse girl.
I think we've been over this.
I think my maximum was 22 horses at once.
Are you serious?
I think 22. I think it could have been 18.
We should do a UPZ where you
weren't the only one taking care of them, right?
No, absolutely not. We board horses. So like people drop off their horse, go, hey, I'll give you a bunch of money if you feed it and pet it, and I'll be like, that's my whole thing.
We should do a UPZ where you
and now I live there.
Ren's a crazy horse girl and like, yeah. And you're a crazy
so like when people are like, I don't date crazy horse girls, that's like my number one slot. I'm like, actually, that is what I date. That's what I want is a crazy horse girl.
Well, I'm not gonna hook you up. I'm saying we should do a
have to
UPZ where you
dissect
guys
this
both
archetype.
Crazy horse UPZ. Anyway.
Crazy horse? Wait, isn't crazy horse like an actual like?
It is okay. Not
anyway. So we're talking about the Kelpie, not your stupid dumb stuff. So we're gonna go back to my goopy yucky slime horse.
Listen, Generation 5 was the worst Pokemon generation.
I don't care. That's also not true.
The one on the right is Ponyta. The one on the right is Ponyta.
Yucky slime horse manual.
The one on the right is Ponyta.
I swear to God, Manuel, if you don't start talking about goopy yucky slime horse, if you don't start talking entirely about goopy yucky slime horse, Manuel. So Kelpies like to lure people in, go, look, I'm just like a normal horse. You should come ride me and we'll have fun time adventures. I'm basically a fucking unicorn. Who knows what kind of shenanigans we could get into.
Couldn't they also shapeshift and look like Pretty Woman?
Kind of. There's a lot of like blending between Kelpies and a hippocampus and a mermaid and a siren and Selkies, and it all kind of blends together. The Kelpie specifically was like the horse that would be like, hey, come ride me. We could have fun, super fun time adventures.
This is just for like reference. This is like generally like, or like probably like where a lot of the lore behind like the Headless Horseman, and like if we want to do like a really modern reference, fucking Stelty from fucking da. Like there's some association with that.
That is a Dulalan, which is a completely different thing.
Dulahan. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's right.
But the Kelpie would lure you in. You'd get on its back and be like, okay, fucking ride, we adventure, we go on crazy cool things. It's like, cool, you are now stuck to me because I'm a goopy yucky slime horse, and then they dive directly into the water and drown them. It is
there's some reference here about like sticking your dick in crazy.
Well, it's very unclear whether or not they do this to feed on people or just for fun. I like to believe it's for fun because, you know, sometimes you just have that kind of weekend where you need to drown a kid. But
I'm not gonna lie, if a spirit horse came up to me, I might be inclined to be drowned.
Yeah, to be clear, if I am not here for a DTR or a DTL, I have gotten on top of a goopy yucky slime horse and taken off, and I have broken the horizon. I have ridden off into the distance. You'll never see me again.
If you have the opportunity, like, why wouldn't you take it?
Have you ever heard of a Nixie?
Yeah.
Okay.
What the fuck is a Nixie?
Do you want to explain what it is for the chat though?
It's like it's another mermaid. It's like a version of a mermaid.
Wait, is it like with the fish part on top and then the human part on bottom?
No. It's basically it's more like a shapeshifter mermaid that I think is specifically freshwater because it's Germany.
I think so, probably.
Germany.
I mean, they're landlocked, so probably.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's reference. I wonder if that's like some
Anyway,
sort of, like,
we've gotten
associated
through
with the
4,
Lady of
so we're
Light.
gonna go to the last one, which is also vaguely aquatic. The Kraken. This
Which
one's
is-
less of a cryptid, more of a creature. I just
Drink.
enjoy this one because it's based vaguely in reality.
I didn't mention this earlier. But
I mean,
was
it's
trying
not
to say
unrealistic. It's not unrealistic. It's
at
actually
the very top of the podcast, we were talking about like spice rums. I was going to mention my only spice rum that I kind of like used to be Kraken, but then you know those memes where it's all like, you know, that alcohol that makes you like retch when you just see it because you know that's also Kraken.
Absinthe.
I had a friend in college. This is the only derailing I will let you do to me. I had a friend in college who would take a shot of Kraken and put a drop of like ghost pepper hot sauce in it, and he called it the afterburner, and he would do shots of that.
No.
That sounds hardcore.
Fun fact,
Kraken
I
scares
just
me.
looked it up on Wikipedia, and apparently Nixies also were said to turn into horses. So they're like, it's the German version of a Kelpie, and I was like, oh.
Molly, are
Perfect
you a
topic,
horse? Are you an actual kelp? I mean, a Nixie? Is that what you're telling us?
Yes.
Molly's a Nixie. I keep saying kelpie.
I mean,
why.
technically,
Anyway,
we all would be.
Manuel and Pleiades, this is my last one, so I will thank you to listen to my stupid.
Hey, hold
dumb
on.
bullshit.
Why does that thing on the far right look way more like a Monster Hunter monster than
Because
it
it's
looks like
from
a
D&D.
D&D. Exactly, it's like D&D. It's like,
So-
it's like
so-
the monster manual.
The problem with Krakens is that very often they are very diluted with Leviathans, so they'll just be like, I don't know, it's like a big fucking water beast.
Hold on.
You know, it could be anything.
This will be my last reference on this slide.
No, it won't.
Is the
No,
bottom,
it won't. Absolutely not. You're a liar, and no.
Is the bottom left the
lie to me.
Nautilus from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea?
Yes, that's unrelated.
It's the Nautilus.
So anyway,
I
this comes
believe
from
I've seen one
Scandinavian
of these on
folklore.
a bottle of alcohol.
It's usually just a big ass, like, aquatic thing. Sometimes it's a whale. Sometimes it's this thing on the right where it's like, maybe it's a squid, maybe it's an octopus. Who knows? It could be
It's a
anything.
Dargan.
Normally, though, it has very squid-like tendencies, so it's got some kind of tentacles. It's usually absolutely enormous, and it's usually based off of the colossal squid, which we found evidence of in multiple places. However, not a lot of them.
Fun fact, Kat did a presentation on squids in DTL 17. I only know that because I was trying to guilt trip her to be on a DTL.
For the record,
And I
everyone
looked
go
up
ahead.
when the last time she
Everyone
was
go
on.
ahead at home, because I know you're all wonderful people and you've kept a little scoreboard. And right when Manuel, the liar Manuel, said, "This is the last time I will interrupt the slide," you did much like me at home. You immediately drew a little T, like a capital T, and then on one side you put Manuel's a fucking liar. On the other side, you just didn't write anything because it's not irrelevant, and then you put a little tally right under Manuel lied. I also did.
It's
So
not
you
even
can-
on this
you can
slide.
play
You
along
can
at
wait
home.
till the next slide.
He couldn't wait. He's like, hang on, I can derail this.
Like, he
I'm
didn't
gonna-
say, I'm not, this is my last derail for the whole presentation. This is my last derail for this slide, and still fucking
Well,
derailed the slide.
Manuel, I have a
Keep going.
counter to
Lovely
your
bunch of
ability
coconuts.
to interrupt me. First of all, the thing I want to leave off on this slide is that it is kind of based in reality, much like when people are like, "Oh man, have you seen that there's evidence of megalodon still existing?" For anyone not aware, megalodon just a big shark. That's literally it. It's just a big shark.
Unless Discovery
a-
Channel
a-
has you thinking otherwise.
Well, a lot of people very often just kind of go, "Oh, well, ocean deep, so like that's where they are. They're in deep ocean, so you can't prove me wrong." But like we know something like megalodon can't really exist, or we probably would have like oopsed into it by now. However, colossal squid is very much a real thing, so it's really cool that people like base the Kraken off of this thing that kind of exists, but probably didn't interact with us in the way that they thought it did, where it would like come up and swallow ships. But I don't know, maybe it did when there were a lot more of them. But it's just neat that there's like a quote unquote cryptid or creature that's like based more in reality than just like, I don't know, goopy yucky slime horse. But Manuel,
Molly's raising her
what are you
hand.
gonna do about this?
Molly's
Yes,
raising
Molly.
her hand.
It's my last slide.
Molly,
No, hold on there.
Molly,
Molly's raising her
Do you
hand.
have a question? Because this is the perfect time to ask.
It's not a question, but I just wanted to talk about kind of real quick my opinions on the ocean's real deep. I do think it's possible that there are animals we haven't discovered. I mean, there's definitely animals we haven't discovered down there.
Absolutely.
But with megalodon specifically, they were like open water, like
Yeah,
like,
they
high,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
they were
we-
not
we-
deep sea fish.
yeah.
So that
we
was
found tons of evidence where they're like exploring the coasts. Like we found
yeah, like they're not
megalodon
deep sea
teeth
fish.
washed up on shore. So like they're not like a deep sea creature or
No,
something.
creatures can't just like become deep sea creatures. Anyways, though,
Yeah,
the point is, that was all it was really.
Also, to be fair, like if anything
any
is
of
that
these,
deep
the Kraken
down,
is the most likely to actually exist in my mind. Because
And
of
you're-
that.
Yeah, for sure.
and at the same time, if anything lives that down into the water, the pressure.
How left? How just yeeted?
See, because I raised my hand.
You'll
I'm
be
polite.
back. He pressed the wrong button.
No, he
I'm
did press the
sure.
wrong button, I'm sure. But it's just really funny that he yeeted. Like, he wasn't even done. He's like,
Did you
"Molly,
happen to press the wrong button? How?
Yeah, I did. I pressed the wrong button.
You
So
you
the
have to take
cool
a shot.
thing
You have
about-
to take a shot now.
I mean that was the end of my presentation though. So
Okay.
You're good.
that
you're
was
good.
literally the last slide. That's
The
all
last thing
of them.
I do want to say about that is
Molly's the Kraken.
the funny thing about ocean creatures who especially live down that deep, the water pressure is specifically tuned to like that is where they grow and are born and live. So if you try raising them beyond those depths,
Mhm.
they get all kinds of fucked up. Like
Well, have
literally
you seen
just
the
die.
blobfish? The blobfish does not look
Yeah.
like
Yes,
that. when
that's the
it's
example
down.
I would have given. Yes,
Exactly.
I agree.
Why does
It
my
looks so
hair keep
dumb here, but like it
disappearing?
looks fucking rad when you put it in its own environment.
Because
I
the
know,
pressure
it's just
like
like a
pulls it
regular
into
fish.
actual space. Yeah.
It looks like a normal fish. And
Yeah.
it's because its skin and like its skeletal whatever is not meant to withstand the low amount of
She's
pressure we
also
have
a
up
Yes.
here.
It's
She's a
it's
Kraken
built to
wombat.
like
They
be
literally
able to
like
withstand
they're
all
literally
that pressure.
exploding. Like that's why they don't
Yeah.
survive up here because you're like exploding a fish.
Yeah.
It would be
So
like
that
putting
episode-
us in space without a spacesuit. We just go. Poof.
That episode,
We
listen to that
just go
episode of
boom.
Futurama
We go
where they
boom.
got the Planet Express ship like
Actually, that's
into
not
the
true.
sea.
We would it would be like putting us in a vacuum because I think it's space
Yeah,
would
yeah.
freeze
That
first.
yeah.
um,
What's the meme where it's like if you're in space with that helmet, your head will just like inflate until like you pop like a balloon.
No, I seen that episode of Magic School Bus. Arnold took his helmet off and it just went to ice. So that's what
yeah,
happened.
I think you
Yeah.
would freeze and then you'd be too solid.
You know how mad I was when I was watching The Last Jedi in theaters? And there's that scene. where Leia-
I mean it's
I
the
think we're
last
gonna be,
Jedi.
you
You
know
don't
how
have
mad
to
I
say
was when I took my
much more
space
than
helmet
that.
off and I didn't explode it.
Shut up, Molly.
I've
Well,
been
there's-
trying to kill myself in space for years.
There was a
I am
scene.
upset.
There was a scene, and it's very early in the movie, so this isn't spoilers. There's a scene very early in the movie where like the ship gets like it gets like hit with something, and like
I feel like
Princess Leia, gets like shot off into space, and you think she's dead. And don't get me wrong, I didn't want her to die, but if you don't remember, that was like she had unfortunately passed away in real life. So in my head, I was like, oh, this is where she's really gonna die. And I remember even the theater was like dead fucking silent. Like you could fucking drop a fucking needle and you would hear it. And then, and for those who haven't seen it, this is a spoiler, I don't fucking care.
Manuel.
And then she wakes up and flies. Because apparently the Force lets you fly in space with no spacesuit. And I was so fucking pissed, and people in the theater started laughing, and it ruined the whole thing. And to this day, I'm still upset that, and I don't want to say that I'm so upset they didn't kill her.
You are the only
I'm
person who has ever had this take ever, and it
and I'm
was
still
an
upset
immediate
that
like
they
wave.
didn't take the high road and just be like, yeah, she can't. And by the way, they still put her in the sequel, even though it was released like 2 years after she passed away.
It's Disney. What the fuck do you expect?
And they used like deleted scenes from the first movie. I'm not making that up either. You can look that up because some people are like, no, they did. Yeah, they used deleted scenes. So anyway, I'm just like, that was just bullshit. That's
Have you
my
seen
Also, I gotta
take on
pee!
this thing.
Have you
She
seen the
should have
Netflix
frozen
series,
and passed away.
Also,
Love,
what's
Death,
his
Robots?
face? Who's Anakin is going to be
General
Anakin
Organa,
again? The
thank you.
Ahsoka movie, I guess.
Has
Deal
anybody
with
seen
that,
Love, Death,
falling off
Robots?
way.
It's a Netflix series.
No.
Well, it's basically they just had like a bunch of animators create animations, and it's really good. But there's one that's really interesting. It's about someone who they get stuck in space and they get they're floating away from their spaceship, and what they end up doing is actually taking their glove off so that their hand freezes, and then like breaking their hand off and throwing it to give them momentum to like get back to the spaceship. That's kind of a spoiler, but just for that one.
Wait, what was this you were describing? What show?
It's called Love, Death, Robots. It's on Netflix. Every single episode is completely different. It's different animators, different animation style, different, but they're all animated, and they're all just like different like stories. Most of them have to do with like the future and like technology and stuff. That was just like,
Interesting.
I mean, like if you're floating away, that's really all, and you don't have anything to throw. That's really all you got is you have to like throw a body part. Like, unfortunately,
It's like me and Molly are floating away in space. Like Molly, whoosh.
I'm not a body part.
I mean, you're just a body, so I'll just use your momentum.
Because
You-
it's
you
true.
know-
I mean, like in space, when there's no friction, you could literally throw like a piece of dust, and it would eventually you'd float
The
back.
person surely throw the glove first, right, to like get a head start.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Like they threw
Okay.
something else first, but then it like turned
Because
out
like
that
no
they,
need to waste the glove. Like I get you're sacrificing your hand,
but
you
it,
go
like,
in knowing
didn't-
that, but like
it like
use
made
the
them
glove.
go- for some reason, like it didn't work. And
No.
so eventually they end up having to like.
I'm gonna go P2 in a second, but just real fast, Mr. Shaku. It wasn't that I'm upset that they made up new force power that she flew back, but if I was an editor or a writer or whatever the fuck on Star Wars, I would have taken that out and just written off, Carrie Fisher right there, because that was not that it was a good way, but that was like that made sense. That's what everyone expected. I wouldn't be like, yeah, fake out, and then she lives the movie. It's like, what the fuck? Like, how are
Manuel,
you gonna? Yeah.
for the longest time, and I was technically wrong. I was one of those people who enjoyed Kingdom Hearts because I was 11, and then 15 years later, when they finally came out with number 3, the entire time I joked and I was like, you know why that's taking them so long is because Disney keeps acquiring new identities.
Yeah.
So like they'd come in and be like, here we have Kingdom Hearts 3, it's our magnum opus, we really think the fans will enjoy it, we think new players will enjoy it, this is a very good game we've made. And they said, ooh, bad news, we bought Marvel, we're gonna need you to put Iron Man in one of these.
God.
Okay, yeah, I guess we'll go do that. And then they come back 3 months later, like, okay, we did it. Iron Man's in it. We got Robert Downey Jr. It's going to be great. People are really going to enjoy this. Like, I think it's a really good final sort of installment. Ooh, we bought Star Wars, so we're
Oh,
gonna
fuck
need a
no.
Death Star world.
Real fast, I want to say
Ooh.
before I go pee that I am mad excited. They're gonna disappoint me. I don't fucking care though. I'm still mad excited. And also, fun fact, I met him before. James Gunn, Guardians of the Galaxy, he got a start in Trauma.
Oh yeah, he's
Um,
married to Tasha.
Yeah,
who was
and
in
not
my
only
movie.
he
I didn't know he got a start in Trauma.
Yes, he actually wrote, no joke. I think he kind of ghost wrote, but he wrote Lloyd Kaufman's autobiography. No joke. Well, Lloyd
Wait, that is
admits
one.
it. All I need to know about filmmaking, I learned from Toxic Avenger, which is Lloyd Kaufman's autobiography. James Gunn wrote it. And he also wrote Romeo and Juliet. He used to be a writer and a host on Trauma TV. But anyways, and also he puts Lloyd Kaufman in all of his movies. Anyways, I'm so excited that Adam Warlock's going to be in the new Guardians of the Galaxy, because Adam Warlock was my favorite comic book hero growing up, and I actually have all Adam Warlock comics.
I was thinking of Sean Gunn. Sean Gunn is the one that's married to Tasha. Not
James Gunn is much more bigger, Molly. But
James Gunn is also older.
But yes, he's also the director of all the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, including, also as well as the recent Suicide Squad movie. But anyways, I'm gonna go pee. I'm waiting for everyone to come back, so I don't just leave Molly here doing do a backflip. Oh, Molly's peeing too. Okay, everyone's peeing.
Manuel,
okay,
as always, I'm here. Just because you can't see me doesn't mean I'm not here.
Start singing. I'm gonna go pee.
PPP, 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 PPP. I had no idea that there is specifically one of those islands where an isolated group, society of people lived.
There's still quite a few.
There is. I didn't know that one of them is where it's pretty heavily public consensus of a member of the Rothschild family died there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. dude was very I mean, he liked exploring. He liked that kind of stuff, like environmental stuff and everything. And I really can't do justice to the story, so I'll just summarize it. But essentially, what it came out to be is like Rothschild, one of the most fucking rich, affluent, powerful families at the time, at least, right? And he was just studying local fauna, people, everything, and was very much like, from what it sounds like, just interested in just learning and whatnot.
Mhm.
And at a certain point, disappeared. And for what it sounds like, is that wound up dying because he like washed ashore on an island where it was just like it was at the point where it's like people never seen white people before, and it's like white spirits. And the reason why people go to that conclusion is that when people story attestations go that when people want to go searching, because when you have a family that fucking rich with that many resources, oh god, they're sending all the fucking people. The one thing that one person heard was something to the lines of, and again, this is all alleged, don't tell the white spirits about the white spirit we killed.
What about the white spirit? Oh, wait, sorry. Who's the white spirit? Wait. Hey, wait. I see, oh, God. Hey, Richie, what's up? First time chat from Richie, our homie, from it's been a while,
Rich?
bro. Richie, fun fact, I don't know if you're still in or if you just dropped when you posted that comment. I still have your charger that you left in my hotel room at Anime California.
Mm-hmm.
And I will bring it at Anime LA if you're still around. If you're gonna go, I don't know if you're still around, but if you're gonna go to Anime LA, I'll bring it there.
If you're
Pleiades,
still around? What?
I mean, he's still around. He's commenting right now, but I still have that charger.
It does
Oh,
exist.
that's what you
You're
meant by
true.
still around.
I mean, that is
was
true.
like,
Not the charger, but the battery. I mean, honestly, at this point, I just want to give it back because it'll be a nice, like, pre-pandemic, like, bookend closure thing to a story. But I'm pretty sure he's long.
You're implying the pandemic's gonna end.
Well, you know what I mean. I mean, by theory, it has to end eventually, even if it's 5 years from now. So yeah.
Pleiades, to
Yes?
add any amount of credence to your story, though, I've noticed that in my studies of history, because that's what my degree is in, and I have to, for every rich white philanthropist who did terrible, despicable things, they seem to always have one child who is like the saint of the family and is like their entire redemption arc in their child,
I have no
who
idea
like
what you're
defies
talking about.
everything that their family stood for and is like a genuinely good person. Because for those of you who don't know, I studied Henry Clay Frick, who is most notably responsible for a flood in a big city around here because he wanted his carriage to fit across the dam better. So he lowered the dam, and then whoops, it rained too much, and then the whole town got destroyed. But he was very, very rich and white and very powerful, and he had a son, and that son was actually a super big like philanthropist. So he like went and just randomly was like, I'm gonna go explore Africa and figure out what they need and what we can learn from them, and just random other shit. And his dad was just like, I don't know, he was like $20,000 in olden time money, which is like $1 million. Go nuts. And that's just how he lived his life. And he that child is actually the sole reason that we still have descendants from his family, because his sister was unwed. So
have you heard of Lord Timothy Dexter?
I have.
Wait,
but would you like
did-
to explain a little bit about him?
Why
I
does
did
that
an
sound
entire
familiar?
DTL on this man.
Would
Just
you like to
was
give
that the
the
motherfucker
fun
who
part?
like the dude who's like Wall Street bets?
Yeah.
Like
Wall Street Bet.
fucking legend.
That's a very good way to put it. Yeah.
The informer of Deer. He like petitions to become a part of the government so much they just gave him a position that literally did nothing. But he was so stupid he didn't like uneducated, I will say. He was uneducated and not very smart that he didn't realize he wasn't doing anything. And he just every bad business venture he went on somehow became successful for him.
There's a meme on every single stock, investing, financial, whatever the fuck you want to call it, like related group, where it's like people who have no idea what the fuck they're doing, people who think they know what they're doing, and people who are fucking geniuses. It's like a bell curve. And literally the amount of success you have is like if you have no idea what the fuck you're doing. And if you're like a fucking genius, everybody in the middle is fucked. You're the fucking food.
I still want to point out to this very day, little over a year ago, I told everyone to invest in Billy.
I mean, right now it's not working out too good, but
well, now it's actually no. I mentioned this before. It actually is. You would, even if you sold right now, you were hodl gang and you missed the big hump, you would still be mad in the green.
I mean, yeah, but like nobody's gonna hold that long.
One of my friends made.
But
like
my point is, you would have made a lot of
on-
money
on GameStop.
I Molly, why didn't you buy Billy when I told you to buy it?
Listen,
everyone
I
knew
don't
about
remember
Billy.
ever saying that, and I don't have any stocks. I sold all my stocks because they make me anxious.
Anyways,
you sound like my
whatever
girlfriend.
free stock. I have whatever free stock Robinhood gave me.
I thought my girlfriend was still holding Tesla stock, and I was like, I tried like not mentioning because the shit went up, and I was like, I want her to be like wealthy regardless. I'm like, fuck, she sold it. Damn it.
Yeah. By the way, Richie, in case you didn't know what you walked into,
tweet once.
We're all drunk.
I saw a tweet once where someone's like, when we were born, like when me and my brother were born, my grandparents each bought us like a couple stocks. They brought my brother a couple Disney stocks, yay! And for me, they decided to invest in this small tech company at the time called Apple. And it's like, I think I got the better end of the deal.
There's an episode of Futurama where Hermes, the accountant, like he has a son, and he has like a fucking I think it was like a quarter or something. And Hermes like, what are you going to invest this in? And the son was like, I'm going to buy 10 shares of Amazon stock. And Hermes like, oh, a risk taker.
A risk taker. Let me open up my presentation and get ready to go in a second. But hold on. I guess I'll go next, obviously. This has been a fun episode. I didn't think it would
I remember
be,
once going to apple.com and being like, wow, it's amazing that Apple was able to get this URL because I'm sure that someone else probably wanted it. And then I was like, wait.
No, you're not wrong.
But at the same time, back when it was hard to get URLs, like who had an easier time getting URLs?
No, that was a
it's
by the
harder
way,
now.
whenever people talk about like the bubble popping or the big like online burst or whatever
the
.com they use for it,
bubble,
the .com bubble, that's what they're talking about. Is people would sit there and meticulously like our grandparents or our parents would sit there and be like, who's up and coming? Apple? I will purchase apple.com and whatever random other things they might put, like
Ask
Macintosh.com. I'll buy those. Haha, yes. You have to buy it from me now, big company. That'll be $1,000, which I think is a lot of money.
Literally, honestly, that's a Squid Game.
Every time a new social media site comes out, I have friends that work in social media, and they're like, they'll just go on and buy like HBO or they'll make all these accounts just in case it takes off.
Yep.
It's this weird thing where it's like, but it's also the modern equivalent of like what was it in 2017 where people just put fucking blockchain at the end of like their business, like coffee and cookies blockchain. Didn't actually have anything to do with Bitcoin or anything like that, but like it made the stock shoot up like fucking 100% for no fucking reason.
Apparently, according to Good Daddy, my website is worth like $1,000. And I'm like, who the fuck is gonna buy MollyElizabethRing.com?
No,
listen. Apparently, you can take mortgages out on NFTs now.
I am morally against NFTs
But the fact that you can like engage in a fucking mortgage against it as if it was a house,
I know,
what the fuck?
Let me get ready to share so I can.
Also, if you want a wild ride, and you go to like the hobby drama Reddit, the one on Neopets and the NFTs is actually very well written.
I'm actually
is it at all related to the artists who were like really proud? They're like, hey, I just sold a bunch of my art for NFTs, and people were like, hey, so like we appreciate that you're like, you're getting it, you're like, you're on the grind or whatever you want to call it, but like, we could run a city for a day for the amount that it costs to make your NFT go burr. Like,
That's only
It does not.
maybe find a better outlet for your art. Like
It
that
doesn't
isn't-
really talk about.
Solana, dog.
It doesn't talk too much about NFTs. Like, it explains them briefly, but it doesn't really talk about like the issues and the pros and the cons or anything about it. It's more just talks about the fact that like, hey, Neopets like, well, originally they were like, apparently someone from Neopets support was like, oh, this is probably fake, but.
Oops,
Then
it wasn't.
Neopets themselves came out and was like, don't worry, it's real. And everyone's like, that's not, we didn't want it to be real.
This sounds very.
There's more to it too. There's more to it. It has to do with like the NFT
Yeah,
community going onto Neopets and like messing with everyone. And Neopets is actually still like has like 100,000 users a month.
They had a big resurgence at the start of the pandemic.
That makes sense.
Can you guys hear me, by the way?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we've been hearing you. You just
No.
didn't like put anything to screen share.
I was
No,
so into
'cause I'm
Neopets as a
frozen.
kid
Sorry.
that literally when I was under 13, I had my parents sent in the parental permission form so I could do the things that you could only do if you were over 13. if you were on the site.
Absolutely. I was a dumb fucking 13-year-old. Like dumb 12-year-old. Like
I don't even. Well, this was like before Neopets got like money heavy, and like this was, you didn't have to spend any money. Like,
fucking titties.
there was no
before
dressing up your pet.
microtransactions existed.
Yeah, this was before you could like dress up your pets, which is what most of the microtransactions are, I think.
Before you could get your
Oh, that's
Neopets
exactly where the shit's
pet
gonna
up
go.
Yeah, there were pets, but I don't think there were pets yet.
There were not pets yet, but you could get
Aren't
pet
there like pets now? Or, no,
Pet
pets are
Probably.
pets are basically fleas.
I think we're just stuttering at this point.
I know exactly. That's what it sounds like. Okay, I don't know if
Manuel,
my
you have a presentation?
am I moving? Because
I'm
like
buckled up to interrupt.
I mean,
Wall
I
Street
see your
Market
camera
on Neopets.
moving.
Am
Yeah.
I
There
moving?
is a stock market. There is a stock market on Neopets. I wonder if there's a Wall Street.
I think
Oh,
I think I have to-
absolutely.
I think I have to come back because Chrome's like being stupid. I'll be right back. Hold on.
Whatever.
Or a Wall
Manuel,
Street
I'm
bets for
frothing at
Animal
the
Crossing.
mouth, man. I'm trying to interrupt.
Invest in
Oh, the
one
fucking
stock
like
that exists.
turnips.
Just invest in stocks. Except for I don't think that the turnips, it has nothing to do with how much people are buying. That would be interesting though, if they actually had it be based on how many people are like buying, because it's on the internet, so they would know.
That's how VChat is. Like, there's a lot of things where it's like, it's sounds really fucking stupid, but like sometimes like a lot of those, some of those like online MMO like VChat things, like you have to pay real money to like go and like have cosmetics and shit like that.
I paid real money to become. There was this.
Wait, why am I in here twice?
Because I said
There
okay.
is
how's the old one? Kick
or
out
there
the old
was.
one.
I don't know if it still exists, but there was basically like it was kind of like Neopets, but you would have horses.
There we go.
And I actually made like a whole ass presentation. It was like a live PowerPoint for my mom on why I should be able to have an account where I could become a horse boarder, because that's how you made a lot more money in the game.
Listen, my parents would get mad at me back in the day for buying booster packs of cards.
I remember I used to just ask for Christmas. I was like, I just want Gaia online gift cards.
That's another excellent example. People are like, who's paying money for NFT? Do y'all not understand how much a Team Fortress 2 hat costs?
Yeah,
Like,
I don't think you can actually use the hat in the game.
sometimes, yeah, depending on the thing. Like now they're starting to like actually like embed this shit in certain things.
Oh my god, it won't let me share audio. So the whole reason.
Oh, that's probably because I didn't actually click add to stream.
No, the whole reason I delayed my presentation because I added a video. But if I can't share audio, it doesn't really matter. I'll show it to you anyway. But anyways,
Is it about Jan to Arc?
it isn't. I wish I was in John Dark.
Sad.
Vampire.
Vampire.
Vampire. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna open up everything. Sorry, I closed everything because I had to close the browser. But yeah, it gave me the same warning that if I share system audio, you'll all hear yourselves. I'm like, fucking hell. So
We'll probably find out the new
That's
ones.
weird. It didn't happen for me.
I
Well,
know, that's what was so weird.
Well, Manuel, what are you sharing? Because are you sharing just your screen? Because I literally
Yeah,
just
I'm sharing
share
my
a Chrome
screen.
tab.
Yeah,
That's why, yeah.
I didn't do the Chrome tab. I should have did that. Whatever. It's done. It's not a big deal. Honestly, I didn't want to have video. I only put it in because I thought it'd be funny, but it doesn't matter anymore.
You mad what?
In my cups. It's a Shakespeare reference.
I've never heard this saying before, but I'm gonna probably steal it from now on. Also, I started.
I say it all the time.
Manuel, I bite
Anyways.
my thumb at you, sir.
Yes, thank you very much.
Well, I heard that.
So, okay. Okay, bros and gals, and bro gals. Tonight I'm talking about Uninvited, the
How is
best.
this a Mac Venture series if it's on NES?
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. I know you're gonna. I'm glad you brought that up early, but yes, the best NES horror game. Don't worry, I'm gonna come back to that.
Fun fact: I have an NES Classic in my room. I don't have the original NES, but I have the NES Classic.
This controller is next to my SNES Classic I have plugged in because on our Patreon, patreon.com/digitconnections, I'm going to be playing all the Mario games over the course of a year.
Manuel,
and I'm going to be I plugged
I'm
in my SNES Classic.
lampooning you.
Let
the
him.
joke was that I was stating
Let it
something
happen.
irrelevant.
Let it happen. This is the only way he'll learn.
How I am like 30 shots in. You shouldn't play with me right now.
You are not 30 shots in. You would be
I'll catch
dead,
up.
sir.
I will meet you at Super Saiyan Blue, my friend.
Okay, so I mentioned that my other presentation I ended up canceling like weeks ago when Callie asked me to do that that one on cultivation stories. I was into a favorite horror media. And this was actually one of like 6 little mini topics I had. And when I was done, I decided that like I'm not gonna do the other one, unfortunately. I'll save that for next year maybe, or just a non-Halloween TTL. 2 of the topics I felt I could definitely beef them up. So this is one of them. And I wanted to talk about my favorite horror game called The Uninvited. So
sounds like a bad house guest.
It's spooky, all's good shit. And yeah. Also, I think this will be a short presentation. We'll see. I doubt it because I'm already like taking like 30 minutes to even get to this first slide. But let's jump into it.
Wait, no, isn't that whoever did that cover? Oh god damn it, never mind. I'm thinking about Mars Attacks or something. Like it seems like very familiar.
Fun fact, I actually had to clear out a storage unit that I had a lot of my old shit in, and I have my original copy of Uninvited. No, I still have these games. I have my copy of Uninvited like behind me. I just didn't think to dig it out. So anyways, what is Uninvited? So Uninvited sometimes is called The Uninvited. Don't ask me why. It's an adventure game. So if you don't know what an adventure game, it's a point-and-click game. It's funny because when I realized Molly was going to be on, I wanted to add all these references. Like, oh, Molly will know this because it's like imagine a Nancy Drew game, but like with a somewhat simpler interface because it's older. And it was developed by ICOM. It was published by Mindscape, and it was originally released on the Mac in 1986 as part of the Mac Venture series. But I wanted to point out the version that I played, and honestly, most people have played, is the NES version that was brought to the US by a company called Kemco. And if you're curious on what Kemco is doing today, they are legit pumping out D-list RPG after D-list RPG on mobile, on the Switch, on everything. Go look up Kemco. They're just like
all right, so they're making smart game apps.
But they're like
smartphone apps.
But they're like legit RPGs. Like you pay $10 and it's one game. But yes. Anyways, but it's somewhat infamous because it has graphic violence. There's a lot of crazy shit. And even though you die, and this is an NES game, which if you don't know, NES was very draconic in its censorship policy. So it's kind of cool like that. But I mentioned the Mac Venture. In case you didn't know, Mac Venture also had other games. One was called Shadowgate. By the way, Shadowgate was the fantasy quasi-horror game. And Deja Vu and Deja Vu 2. And Deja Vu, the series, are basically hard-boiled like mystery novels. Like imagine like, and here I woke up. Like, oh, there's a line in Deja Vu 1 that I love.
Deja Vu!
Where he's all like he talks about a bar. He's like, this bar was seedier than a pomegranate. And I say that every so often. I stole that line from there.
In Deja Vu 2, will you get Deja Vu from playing Deja Vu 1?
No, fun fact.
Answer the question. The senator needs to know this.
No, fun fact. Because in Deja Vu 1, you lost your memory. So your whole point of the game is trying to figure out who you are. So in Deja Vu 2, in Deja Vu 2, you wake up and you're all like, oh my god, I lost my memory. Oh my god. Oh wait, no, I forget. I remember who I am. And they kind of like fuck with you like that at the beginning. But anyways, all of these games except for Deja Vu 2 were released in the NES as well. Deja Vu 2 eventually did get a Game Boy Color release of all things, but yeah. Fun fact. This is a really fun fact. I'll never mention this again because I don't think I ever do a Deja Vu presentation. When I was a kid, like a literal kid, like maybe like
if you did a Deja Vu
school,
presentation, that would mean that you did a presentation about a presentation you just
in middle school, I wrote a novelization of Deja Vu. I'm not making this up. I hand wrote it on about like 80 pages, and up until like my early adult life, I still had it, and at some point I lost it in a move. But I really wrote a Deja Vu novelization.
I'd be like that.
It was bad, I'm sure, but I'll never know how bad it was because I don't have it anymore.
Then tell me you don't feel some sense of remorse for the fact that it's gone, though.
I do. Also, I want to mention that Shadowgate has a lot of sequels and remakes. I think there's a current Switch and Steam version. And these are the covers: Shadowgate, Deja Vu, and Deja Vu 2, Lost in Las Vegas.
Is that
Deja Vu cover? That middle one is used for the Game Boy one for 1 and 2.
Yes, it is actually. Oh, you know these games then?
Oh my
God!
No,
I just looked it up.
If this game was on the Game Boy, that sounds like
when you said Game Boy, I lost my mind. I'm like, there's no way someone would in their infinite wisdom put this on the fucking Game Boy. You know what I need? Deja Vu, but I can take it in my car. No one's ever said that. I refuse
They made
to believe
one Mario game for the Game Boy, and literally you can clear it in under an hour.
Sorry, I need to pour a new drink because like my other one melted in my hand.
But not in your mouth.
Yes. I like how I said this is gonna be a short presentation. I haven't even got to the game yet, and I'm like,
this is the game.
Deja Vu. This is a Deja Vu presentation. Sorry, guys.
God damn it! I wish I actually did.
So, anyways, Uninvited the game. So this is the setup. This is the game we're getting into.
Is it though? Also, drink.
I've been drinking. Don't worry, but I'm pouring a new one.
All right.
Mo, you following this? You following this? That's not even a word.
Am I following this? I am not falling for this, specifically speaking.
Okay. So, the game starts with you, unnamed, waking up from a car accident in front of an abandoned house, and your sister is missing. So anyways, you decide to go into the house, and you basically get locked in there. Fun fact, if you don't leave your car in a set amount of time, it will set on fire and you will die. That's your first day.
That's a shitty car.
That's a bad car. Don't drive that car.
Eventually, when you go into the house, you find out the house is occupied by ghosts, demons, monsters, and I don't have this listed anywhere, but it turns out the big bad is because like there was this evil like coven of like wizards, and like one of the wizards went evil and killed the others, and he summoned all the nonsense that did all this shit. But this happened ages ago. By the way, this takes place like in somewhere, I think in Scotland or something. So anyways, now here, that's actually the screen from the NES game. The game window is split. There's the inventory in the upper right. It says property, I guess. It's limited to 10 pages. That's important in a second. The text window at the bottom, it tells you what's going on, what you're seeing. And then the top left is the actual screen. There you go. So gameplay. By the way, I realized that this screen has the doll. That sounds like a fucking slur. I apologize if that is.
Wait, what?
But the doll, it means it's short for gypsy doll. And I shouldn't have said that word even to begin with, but apparently that's...
the property, the whatever abbreviated doll.
Yes.
Gotcha.
But abbreviating it sounds like a slur. I mean, apparently the full term apparently is, but the abbreviating sounds even worse. But anyways, but fun fact, if you're not familiar with these things, Think King's Quest is basically a game where you solve puzzles, like you get items and you're meant to like, do stuff. But what's interesting is it's kind of Resident Evil in aspects because the inventory is limited and you could pick up way more items than you need. And you could fuck yourself over because I picked this screen in particular because if you look at it, it says you're in the backyard. You can leave what you don't need here. This is the only place in the game that you could dump items.
Wait. It actually says you're... That's interesting.
Yeah, because otherwise you're fucked.
The reason I say this is because in Guilty Gear, fucking Daisuke Ishiwatari like actually calls like the source code or like wherever the fucking like sacred realm of that series is the backyard. So now I'm wondering, like, he got like some inspiration like from this game because he's an OG gamer.
It's worth mentioning the Mac Venture series, the original series. It had time limits built into the game. Now, if you play the Mac Venture, and by the way, that version's still on Steam to this day. But if you play that game, eventually, if you take too long to beat it, the evil of the house takes you over. Thankfully, that's not in the NES version. All the games have time limits. Real fast, the Shadowgate time limit is in the NES version because the time limit there is the torch, and you can only pick up a set number of torches in the game. So technically, if you take too long, you're fucked. But anyways, similar to the genre as a whole, basically you can fuck yourself over. There's a lot of unwinnable situations. You can literally get yourself locked in like a room and you can't leave. But the game doesn't end. Like the game doesn't like game over, hit start to continue. Like you're just stuck there. And you might not realize like if I wait here for 30 minutes, no, it's never gonna continue. You're just fucked.
It actually got locked.
Yeah. So anyways, trial and error is your friend. That's actually a place where you can get stuck in there. A hideous skeleton forms inside the cell. You can get stuck in this room. So honestly, the story isn't too much to tell because basically the whole thing just involves that evil wizard who like killed the other wizards. The whole point is you can see all sorts of crazy shit in here, though.
Manuel, I have a question.
Yes.
Every single thing on this list so far for property, I fully understand, except no ghosts.
No ghosts is a spray. Thank you for bringing that up.
Why is it specifically telling me I don't have a ghost?
It's a spray. It's like, remember, I think, and I don't know.
No. Manuel, the thing above it is a spray.
Oh, you're right. No, I think no ghost is a spray, though. I don't know why it's
Manuel, the thing above it says spray.
No, I'm pretty sure.
No ghost does not say spray, Manuel.
Also drink.
Okay, I'm pretty sure those are two separate items. I'm pretty sure the spray is useless, but the
I'm
no
pretty
ghost
sure you need a drink.
No, the no ghost is a spray, though. I know that for a fact because I know the puzzle you need to use that on.
Does it get rid of ghosts?
Yes, similar to the no shark spray in Batman. I'm pretty sure that's reference to that, by the way. Yes.
Wow.
I know that's a Boomer reference, but that's technically been repeated in history, so yeah. Anyways, there's a lot of red herrings, and there's actually, believe it or not,
red herring.
No, there are puzzles that you can't beat. There are literally ghosts that you just have to avoid, and you have to learn that on your own. That if you interact with them, you're dead. And there's no item, there's no ghost spray, there's no nothing. Just when you see them enter the room, leave and come back.
Like an amnesia.
Yes. It's actually funny because back in the day, I played this game when I was really young, and I loved it. I think I wasted like a summer in all three of these games, like the Deja Vu one and Shadowgate and this. This was the last one I beat because this one has so much bullshit like that. So anyways, that inventory I mentioned already, you can only pick up so much shit. This room that you're looking at is the bane of my existence. I'm pretty sure that bottle in the bottom is the spray that's just spray. Because none of this is useful. Not a single. You could pick up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The broom also. You can pick up 9 items in this room. Not a single one do you need. You just wasted like actually, I think it's even more than a page. You wasted a page of your inventory on bullshit.
You gotta like play Tetris and organize everything so it fits perfectly in your cache.
But yeah, this kitchen and there's other rooms, but this one pantry like fucked me over so many times. But yeah, this screen really fucked me over. But anyways, version changes real fast. Oh, this is backwards.
Wait, what the fuck is this?
Sorry, it came out. It didn't come out right away. So anyways, I wanted to mention there's some notable changes from the Mac Venture to the NES version. The older sister in the NES version is younger brother in the Mac Venture. And the original address,
a big change.
Yeah, the original address in the game is 666 Blackwell Road, Loch Ness, Scotland. I love all the fucking references there. All that's left out, but the fucking the name of the manor, Master Crowley, which is the name of the manor, that's still there. Yeah, it's a Lester Crowley. I already mentioned the time limit. Fun fact: when I wrote this presentation like last week, I added a bunch of other shit to it. But when I wrote it last week originally, I thought the Mac Venture had no music. It did have music. I apparently only PCs didn't have music back in those days, like PC speakers. Macs apparently had the ability to play music. I didn't know this, but
I mean that just makes sense.
But
I
the
mean, like
music,
they had like fucking a drink.
Unfortunately, you won't hear it because of my sound issue. But the music in the NES version is different, though, and honestly, it's more iconic. Sorry, there's tons of other shit, but let's look at some deaths. Oh, here's some gameplay first. Oh, sorry, this is a.
Oh, it's a skeleton.
Oh shit! It won't play. What the fuck? I want this play. Okay, the video won't play anyway. It doesn't matter because there's no sound. So whatever. Fuck it. So this is the first death you can come across very easily. This is the first main hallway. Honestly, I just wanted to show you the dance. There's this demon that just dances across the room, and that fucking puzzle got me stuck for like weeks of my life. But anyways, a strange woman appears. She is dressed like Scarlett O'Hara, and if you don't leave the room and wait for her to leave, she kills you. And even though that looks kind of cheesy now, imagine an NES game having that picture on the right, the fucking skeleton lady.
Look, I feel like we all have a certain experience that we had as a kid where it was like, going back on it now, that shit seems corny and stupid, but like back in the day when we were kids, that shit was scary as fuck.
And once again, the video didn't work. The video does have the death where I guess whoever did the long play did die at the scene. It did have music. It did have a stinger sound, and like it did like, oh shit, like, you know, it was crazy. And here's some other this is some scene from the original game, by the way. It's a little more graphic. Fun fact. This is the Mac Venture version. Look at the inventory screen. It actually had like representations of the items, which just strikes me as like annoying. But yes.
Here's a relevant non sequitur for anybody that cares. If you would like a modern version of a game like this, check out World of Horror on Steam. It's a very fun Japan-based horror game. It has a lot of the tropes you'd expect from a Japanese game, but it's very similar to the style of this, where it's like very like point and click / like pixel art / like,
okay,
you know,
I've heard of this before,
like mystery solving more than it is like, you know, being able to time things properly. Very, very fun. Super recommended. Continue.
So this is a late NES release. This came out in 1991. It came out like I think weeks before or just around the same time the NES, the SNES released. But this is the same era where they wouldn't allow crosses in games. They wouldn't allow blood in games. You know, and so it was kind of insane. Like they got around it, and this wasn't even getting around it. They released it. Some people say that because Kemco was a Japanese company, that they were able to like grease the palms of Nintendo because like, hey, we're Japanese, you know. Like, yeah.
Well, it's different. I mean, like the implications probably way different.
And it's worth mentioning that all the Mac Venture series, Shadowgate and Deja Vu had death scenes. But Uninvited being an actual horror themed game, it clearly had the more graphic ones. Like I think Shadowgate also has some graphic ones, like a troll can eat you. But in Deja Vu, it's mainly like shot, you know. Also, look at the screen. This is a screen that you can get in the NES. This isn't the Famicom. This isn't a lost game. This was an officially released Nintendo seal of approval game you can get. The evil air that pervades the estate seemed to have invaded your very being. And this is one of the death endings. That bloody skull. So what causes that skull? I wanted to mention this real fast. There's an item called the ruby. And if you pick it up, you die. You want to know what's funny about this? The game doesn't tell you this. Die? The game doesn't tell you this. The game doesn't say you picked up the ruby and you feel something ominous. A countdown appears. Basically, you pick up the ruby and you have like, I think it's 60. You have 60 movements. That includes like picking up more things, examining more things, moving to a new screen until you die. And the game doesn't tell you why you died. So if you pick up
obnoxious.
So yeah, if you pick up that ruby, you might never know why your game keeps ending at the same screen. Just don't pick up the ruby. That's my one advice there.
Good idea. I mean, pretty much just take the Abu approach in the fucking Cave of Wonders.
Here's some funny references within the game. Dogs, you say to yourself, why did it have to be dogs? Does anyone know what that reference is from?
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
Thank you. Molly got it. Yes. And nobody will get this one, but the next one's the name on the tombstone reads Ace Harding. The name sounds familiar, but you can't remember why. Ace Harding. Ace
Isn't
Harding
that like a
is
store?
Ace Harding is the hero in Deja Vu and Deja Vu 2. And no, you must leave. Leave me and my precious alone. Yes, all alone.
That's Gollum.
That's Gollum. And then the bottom right is this apple looks like a Macintosh. I don't think I need to explain that one at all.
Steve Jobs. That's from Steve Jobs.
Yes.
Who?
I think he invented Bitcoin or something.
Wait, is that the guy who died of ligma?
By the way, you notice this says bottle 1, bottle 3, and so on in that one screen. I think
nuts.
all those bottles are useless, so they're just numbered for nothing. So don't pick any of that shit up. Fun fact: when I was doing research for this, I found out there is a spiritual successor to the Mac Adventure series. It's specifically Uninvited, and it's called Infested. It came out in 2016.
Wait, I think I actually have that on fucking Steam.
It's free, by the way. You can get it on itch.io. I don't know how you pronounce that, itch.io, but you can get
itch.io is has a lot of bangers.
It's developed by Graph Metal, and it takes obviously look at that screen. That's fucking that is Uninvited. Yeah, it's free. You can get it. It's more of a sci-fi horror story, but it's still really cool. I played a bit of it. I wasn't able to get too much into it, but I did download it. Like I said, it's totally free. If you're on YouTube, I'll have a link to it. And here's some other deaths. Fun fact: the one on the right, I meant to show it earlier, but that's the version of the death with a really fucked up skull and the black and white version of the Mac Venture one. But yeah, you get bit by a zombie. The miserable dead now welcome your company. And then
this kind of gives me prototypical vibes of what might have become inspiration for Fallout, early Fallout.
And the one on the left right there is just the ghost that rips you apart. But the strange amorphous creature quickly begins ripping you apart. Mind you, there's a lot more deaths. Like I said, the screen I wanted to show you in that gameplay, there's this dancing demon. There's this dancing demon. You have to play his birthday music for him. You have to leave him a birthday cake, and then he stays. You can get a key from him. That puzzle is so annoying. But you don't get to see it. There's not really a good picture of it anyways. Conclusion. So yeah, this is a lot of fun. By the way, you can apparently still get the NES versions on a lot of places. And obviously you can emulate it like crazy. The Mac Venture ones are still on Steam. I don't like the Mac Venture versions because they still have the time limit, and that's bullshit. But yeah, play them all. They're all great. And also, I love the screen. That's the when you beat the game. Spoiler alert: you find your sister, but that just feels very what are you doing, stepsister? You
said it.
So yeah, you climb through the window onto the balcony. Look at the way she's waiting for you.
How do you get stuck in a washing machine?
Huh? Yes.
Also, depends on the washing machine.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
I'm getting stuck in the washing machine.
You haven't had the right kind of washing machines.
What's my timer on?
Oh, your timer's on. Drink!
Oh, shit. Okay, hold on. Wait, what's it on?
It is 23.
Oh, shit. This is my sword appreciation in so long. Anyone have any questions?
Yeah. Is this So, okay. The NES version you get on PS4 and Xbox, what's the definitive edition? Where's the big dig finalized final draft master game of the year edition? Also drink.
Thank you for bringing that up. Honestly, just emulate it, because even the versions released now are just emulated. But most fans swear by the original Mac Venture ones, which are on Steam right now. And you can get those for a few dollars, all three of them. I think $10 or less. All four, $10 or less. But I don't like those versions just because the time limit. I think it's not that cool. The Deja Vu, Uninvited, and Shadowgate all are best on the NES emulated, and Deja Vu 2 just get on the Game Boy Color. And if you want to play Shadowgate and other versions, there's actually a Shadowgate on the Nintendo 64. There's one on the Switch, and there's one on Steam, and they're all different. Anyways, that's that.
I mean, that does make sense.
Thank you for attending my TED Talk on Uninvited.
My TED
I
Talk.
am very drunk.
Really? You wouldn't say?
You've mentioned.
Molly, what's your favorite scary game?
Amnesia.
Wait, what was that?
Amnesia.
Oh, Amnesia.
Ooh.
It was so
thing number 1 out of a million in my backlog that I intend to play at some point.
Well, Amnesia's that weird game that like they gave away like a crap ton of times back in the day. And so
there's a lot of those like that.
Shit, I'm so fucked
There's
up.
an immense amount of things like that.
Let me read some of the thing before I go pee. I need to pee so bad. There's an there's an alligator in the sewer in Deja Vu. I forgot about that. You played it, I see. Apparently,
That's New
Shadowgate
York.
has a board game Kickstarter earlier this year. I did not know that.
Is that not already out? I don't know why. I just thought that was like already a thing.
No ghosts,
Pleiades,
only spray.
What's your favorite horror game? Molly said Amnesia.
So, like,
if you had to narrow it down to one, like obviously it probably changes, but
4K uncapped.
Your current favorite.
Okay, so here's this is the problem I run into is that what do you define as a horror game? And the only reason I say that is because like one of my favorite games of all time, period. Like top 10, if this is one of the like I was limited to a game that I could only play, and this is the only thing that I could play forever and ever. All other games would have to be like just forgotten. Resident Evil 4, easily. Period.
I think you're skating
mystery.
on
mystery.
I think you're skating on horror game. I think that could count, especially with the newer installments. It's definitely like shifting there.
I saw you can play this shit on VR now.
Yeah. It looks really good.
I was like, oh shit.
It looks really well put
but
together.
that aside, honestly, it's gonna sound weird. It would probably be some Flash game. I'm like honestly, because it's like if it's a horror game that's like hard horror, then like my biggest thing would just be like getting scared.
I think the original Corpse Party does a lot to like kind of be spooky. I love the original Corpse Party, and it has a fucking killer soundtrack. The only I wanted to do a precision on that one. I just feel weird because I've only played the first one, and I haven't played like the new versions. I've only played the original RPG Maker versions.
I mean, you could just make that part of the presentation. It's like from the POV of somebody who like this is what I've read. And
fun fact: I played it before, but we actually played it on Halloween last year on one of our gaming streams. But yeah, we're playing that this year. I'm gonna go pee. Everyone go pee if you need to pee.
Go ahead. I'm setting up.
And I'm really fucked up.
Really? You don't say.
And then we're gonna have Pleiades precision when we come back, and maybe a little more non sequiturs.
It's kind of perfect, honestly.
Oh man, Molly, do a backflip.
We already.
You can't do a backflip.
We've been over this. Like,
Manuel, you do a backflip.
I can't even do a fucking backflip on a trampoline. I'm more likely to just bust my fucking neck. Wait, how? You didn't say what your favorite horror game was.
Does PT count? Is that technically a game?
Yeah,
because it's like not really anymore, and it's like a preview. But like, PT was the one where I'm like, oh, I won't play this unless someone holds me. Like, it's just not gonna happen. You can't make me. I'm an adult and I don't have to. But Outlast is another one where like the first time around it was like really like unnerving most of the time.
PC was the entire reason why I bought a PS4. That was like the only reason why I bought one. And I wound up selling it with PT on it. But like, if it wasn't for that, yeah, I probably wouldn't have bothered, honestly. Like that experience, that's got to be like the dream for game designers. I don't know. Like maybe I'm being like idealistic, but that's so fucking cool.
I think Amnesia though was like my first like exposure to like real horror games, like a game that is intended to make you feel unsettled and less like I don't know. It felt like many other games following Amnesia were almost like iterations on what Amnesia was trying to pull off, and I don't think Resident Evil 4 or other similar games fit into that category necessarily, but I think you could consider them horror games because like they get you on edge and they make you scared of a situation or a thing, and that's cool, and that's
You
still
get
effective.
spooked. I say it's horror. Yes, reason for. I'm sorry. They apparently removed some of the sleaziness, like the ballistics jokes. I talking about from Resident Evil.
They got rid of Ashley's ballistics?
Oh, those are titties.
What?
I remember back in the day, I didn't like Silent Hill because
What
I
is
thought it
back
was
in
a
the
Resident. Like literally when Silent Hill came out, like I literally played that near launch. That's how old I am, by the way. I was very young though, but anyways, I didn't like it because I thought it was a Resident Evil ripoff. And
That's
like,
not unreasonable.
to be fair, I feel like we've lost a lot of the then current like media response. Everyone thought that, but it's like it's so different. It really isn't a Resident Evil ripoff. I mean,
it's completely different. Like, if anything, even with the tank mechanics, Resident Evil was much more of like. This is gonna sound weird. Even with tank mechanics, it was still much more of like an action game than Silent Hill ever was.
Equipped his daughter with ballistics.
I mean, like any good president would.
Oh man, I'm not. I didn't like Resident Evil 4 when it first came out. Is that controversial to say? I didn't like Resident Evil 3 either.
To take you. It's just a good game.
I didn't like. I've never liked 3. By the way, 3's Nemesis. I like Code Veronica, which is like in between both of those.
I don't understand how that isn't the next one that they remade.
No, fun fact.
They're just ignoring that shit exists.
Fun fact. Resident Evil, Code Veronica was meant to be part 3. It's just that they had some legal reason why part 3 had to be on the PlayStation, but Code Veronica could not be on the PlayStation because it's too much in it. So that's why Nemesis, which is meant to be a side game, became Resident Evil 3. This is a real story. You can go Google it. It's all real. So technically, the real Resident Evil 3 is Code Veronica. And that continues the story. Like 3 is just this random shit where you just fight Nemesis.
See, I thought Code Veronica was supposed to be like the actual de facto 4.
Yeah, it is.
For them to like
well,
have
no, 3. It's supposed to be 3.
Well, no, because like 3 was like Jill, right? But like still, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but they both came out similar in time. Like I think it came out 99, 2000. I remember. I'll never forget. Like my sister bought Resident Evil 3 for her then husband, or maybe they might have been boyfriend back then, on Christmas, and then like we played it that day when like on Christmas Day. It was like his. I
mean, that's the best time to play a game, to be fair.
But yeah. Oh, good times. Simpler times. The real Resident Evil 3 were the friends we made along the way. The real Resident Evil 3 was Claire Redfield.
Oh dear God.
Oh God, guys.
Yes. Are you gone? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, I'm like SCP gone.
Okay, we're good.
You can get ready. I'm gonna start the timer on you now because you always take 30 minutes to like start. Hold on.
This will do it. Wait, hold on. I actually never done this with like Google Slides, but like it should just be able to like go and do this.
Fun fact: I think StreamYard like updated something because I used to be able to share my audio the way I used to before. That was why I liked StreamYard over Callie's thing. Whatever I forgot what that one was called. But now StreamYard does the same thing.
I mean, like it's pretty much the same thing. It doesn't really matter.
Okay,
like, it's essentially built off the same shit.
3, 2, 1, let's go. Timer starting.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, for Richie, in case you're new, this is usually we're not this drunk. Oh shit, you started right away. Okay, usually Pleiades takes like 30 minutes to start his presentation. So I start his timer
So very fun that a lot of these topics just wound up kind of running into each other. And I think it has kind of like more to do with like being a product of just like spooky shit in general. But one thing that I've always been fascinated about and doesn't have any sort of united canon to it is demonology. Like, if you try to like sit down and be like, okay, so like, what's this demon called? What's that demon called? What are these qualities? What are those qualities? What are the specifics of being possessed and this and that, whatever? There's no cohesive narrative that is just like publicly fucking accepted. It's like fucking Celtic mythology. It's wild. But at the same time, it's kind of what's fun, because it kind of speaks to the nature of like what we now kind of consider as being like inclined to kind of demon tendencies. And that being like, as far as like I've always heard, and as far as like I've heard it like used in popular conversations, just like it's pretty much just being like fucking chaotic, fucking just neutral. Like sometimes maybe you do good stuff, but most of the time you're just fucking shit up. So right now, I'm gonna go ahead and take the simplest progression I can have to just kind of like expose and not expose, elaborate on a lot of like just normal topics that proliferate fiction that are like, yo, this is inspired by a demon, this is blah blah blah, adapted from this, and then also kind of examine why it is that we have these mentions, these spirits in all of our fiction, but like how it is throughout the years that our impression of them have changed. And then a big thing being is that, specifically speaking, the term demon kind of takes a root from the term daemon or daimon, which is a Greek term, which basically kind of translates to being like an earth spirit, less than an actual just malignant force. It more so is just like, this is like a raw force of nature. And at that point, it's kind of like, can you really pin something evil to this or not? And in the terms of like where it came out of, Greek mythology, it really kind of begs the question where it's like, it winds up coming out of pagan shit. It really does.
Wait, is that a typo?
What?
Pagan.
Yeah.
You bastard.
But essentially, it comes down to like throughout the years. I mean, like Halloween is like a fucking druid occasion, right? Fucking Christmas, very much in the same, where it's like organizations wind up trying to meet the public as a whole halfway. It's like, oh, you want them to believe whatever you want? Okay, sure. But like, we're already used to like worshiping earth spirits and like natural, like nature spirits and things like that. So how do you like translate this to like, okay, now we're trying to like kind of like convert you, and it's like you keep the same occasions, but maybe the public take on what those spirits are, or like what those previous like deities were, the take on them specifically kind of gets twisted. Like the perspective on it's like, whereas before maybe it was like a powerful spirit that was like to be feared, or like to be like, yo, respect this. It's like, Jesus Christ, they can be like, they can fuck your shit up. Now it's like, no, that's a malignant spirit, Jesus, or like, you know, a certain amount of saints. A big root, and it's like not even just Europe and Greece. Like if you go progressively throughout a lot of different cultures, you will find a undercurrent. This being this is a carving from Mesopotamia. There is an interesting thing where it's like, again, for whatever reason, it's one of those things that I like bring up. Every single culture has its own version of some sort of food that is like dough, but then it has meat in the middle. For whatever reason. Like,
yes, a pierogi. Go on.
A taco, an empanada, a fucking gyro. It's weird, but it's one of those like basic things where it's just like, I think it's interesting because it's one of those things where it's like, I wonder if it's just because this is like a basic thing where like human imagination just tends to go towards.
Yeah,
like,
I'm gonna put meat between two things.
I'm saying. And it's not even as if like earth spirits, nature spirits that are like very like intimidating and should be respected, but like also like sometimes they're like painted as evil. It's not it's not just a thing in like Greece. Yo, it's how many fucking different like stories do we have in Japanese mythology? Fucking Orochi no Yamata. If you go through and see Hindu mythology, the entire Ahura Mazda, like Jesus Christ, like or not Nama Ahura Mazda, Mahabharata, yeah, the Mahabharata, where it's like literally like hella fucking entities, and there's a bunch of like inspirations that have ties to like fire, things of that, which are like typically speaking in like modern kind of like circles, this being, oh, this is bad. It's like, no. Sometimes shit is just like live and it's out there, it's powerful. But again, culture goes, and then you wind up taking it to a certain place. And the way that I've kind of like interpreted, like personally, is that honestly, to me, it's like a lot of these things wind up to me coming off as more as just like elements of like, this is just concentrated humanity. This is like if us just existing would wind up manifesting deities that just like, it's like, oh, greed, lust, gluttony, selfishness, all that shit, right? But if it wasn't for us, they wouldn't exist. So to me, a lot of these kind of like demonic references and whatnot really do kind of say like, okay, so these evil, if they're evil, malignant like spirits, a lot of this is because we exist, because we manifest them from being who we are. We go to Plato's Symposium. Back then, the whole like concept of daemon, which is where like the term demon like kind of like spun off of, it was really thought more of just like an energy or like a concept, just like an abstract type of thing that like it transfers between manifest like physical humans and kind of like the realm of the divine. And to that extent, it's like, yo, you could have a strong force, and if it doesn't go against you, like a hurricane, like that's a natural occurring force, it fucks you over. It's tragic. Sometimes you got nothing you can do about it. But
oh shit, drink like 4 times. God damn it.
I was wondering what the holdup was. I was like, maybe I don't understand how long a minute is.
Yeah, by the way, it's at 8 minutes. So
okay,
1,
cool.
2,
Good.
3, 4. Yeah. Wait, that's 5. Let's take 4. I'll take.
But
one
in the same vein, we have throughout history, again, progressively, early on, like pagan gods and whatnot, like we take Greece's Pan, right? God of like you know, like music and all that. And then once it like time goes on, gets wind up like translated into being Baphomet. And then from there on out, like just becomes permanently associated with Satanism.
Sometimes spirits just be vibing.
It is, and that's the whole thing. This, and here's the weird thing. It's like, this is completely aside. This is kind of like partially why I love Berserk. Because there's like elements to this where it's like there's natural things, and then people come in and try to put order to it, and somehow it perverts it instead of just letting shit be how it is.
Drink. And you like Berserk. Wait, which is Berserk? Yeah, you like Berserk because of the horse penis.
That's not why I love it. But here, I also wanted to go ahead and take the opportunity to bring up certain like large figures in demonology. Because right over here, okay, we have Pan and then we have Baphomet, which is like direct 1-to-1. This is where this wound up with this also. In case anybody's wondering, yeah, no, back then the dicks on statues were so small because they legitimately thought that was more like artistically like pleasant. Because like a bit also like that, or like legitimately some pope went around just like fucking hammering dicks off of statues, or it could be a combination of the two. But as story goes,
we don't know. Pan could be a grower, not a shower.
Oh, that's not. Well, no, this is Pan right here. This is some other dude.
Oh, well, other dude could be a grower, not a shower. Yeah, his dick is just right out there.
But so what are the two names right here that are like right in this pentagram? Which again, this is a later kind of like insignia, magic circles, all that. Go figure, right? But the names here are Samuel and Lilith.
Molly's
Lilith. That's exactly what I want to go ahead and touch on. Lilith being...
See, that's Molly right there.
It does look like my hair.
It does actually.
A little bit.
Well, not right now because I straightened it, and I also cut like 5 inches of my hair. You can't really tell though; it's still short. Or it's still long.
I need to get my hair trimmed.
I need to get my hair cut
I braided my hair when it was wet to see like how it would look, and it just made it so obvious that the ends like needed to go. And so I impulsively cut it myself. And although I know how to cut hair because I've got wigs, so that's not the issue. The issue is cutting the back of your own head. Like
Yeah,
your
You
own hair.
guys can see, but this is my ponytail. I'm like holding it this far above my head.
I mean, my
hair in my hand, but yeah,
my bun.
have a
I actually
ponytail.
have to like put it like up and then also like knot it into itself, like a double.
Yeah.
knot.
Keep going.
Are you at the point where you need two hair ties now, or else it falls? Because that's how
Yes.
I am.
That's exactly right. Like this right here, this is suffering. This is the phase right now that I'm in. But okay, so Lilith, and then this is where I have to heavily make it clear that all the takes, all of what I'm saying is based entirely off a literary traditional, just like lore perspective. Beliefs vary, and whatever it is that you adhere to your like religious text and what you believe is absolutely like that's what you believe. I am just approaching this completely on like, cool, this is like what texts have had, and like that doesn't mean it's true, but it's interesting to explore. And the reason I say this is because Lilith is in Kabbalistic text essentially what came before Eve. Lilith winds up being like the actual like temptress for Adam, at least within the text. And as a result, Lilith isn't treated as being like the first human female. She's treated as like the first demon. And it like just from the rip.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that real quick?
Okay, so Lilith, right? Lilith, not the first human female, but the first demon. The first demon female, which immediately kind of is fucked up because it's like, okay, so the first demon is female. It's like, why? Because they tempted like Adam, and it's like Eve did the same thing, but like now it's kind of like I wonder if part of this story came out as like a way of like trying to compartmentalize this shit. I don't know, but as a result, Lilith winds up being like a symbol of yes, fertility, but also like primarily of like basically all the worst qualities that Eve ever had. Somehow.
Wait, can I wait, sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
Really?
Yeah.
The story that I've always heard is Lilith was created to be the first human, but she was created the same way that Adam was. She wasn't created of Adam. She was her own separate being.
Yeah.
And Adam didn't like that. And so Lilith basically was cast down to hell or like became a demon. I don't really remember exactly how that happened. And thus then Eve was created of Adam, of his rib, to be subordinate. Right. So Lilith is like the ultimate original feminist.
Oh shit!
That's not a bad way of putting it.
She was Adam's equal.
Adam was a hater. Yes,
Adam didn't like that.
Hashtag Adam is.
She wouldn't.
Adam was a hater.
She wouldn't like bow to him and like be subordinate because she's like, we're equal. We were made of the same thing.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it winds up being something that's left out of like you don't see in a lot of like
drink. By the way, fucking
like the dogma of like religious text, and sometimes it's because
it's in the Jewish mysticism.
Although exactly.
You could argue that it's all mysticism. So
I mean that's where I started off because like a lot of mysticism, and we're gonna get into that further. Oh shit, I need to like words, but like Lilith to me is like okay. I kind of hate like focusing primarily on like Christian and Orthodox kind of like takes on demonology, just because like it feels kind of like hackneyed. It feels like very like of course. But it's also like the easiest way to kind of like talk about this because it's things that people are more used to. And Lilith being like honest, I don't know. Like I feel like there's an obscene amount of just like people who take the name Lilith as like a power name, as like just like a tag. I can totally get it. But like she's also not the only one, and click.
Oh, there it goes.
Another prominent example of a demon.
Classic Mephisto.
Say this name.
Mephistopheles?
Oh shit. You guys said it correct. God damn it. Am I the only one who takes like the third try to get it right?
Mephisto for short, dude.
Mephistopheles.
Mephistopheles being the demon that is This is the only reason we have Madoka.
Darkstalkers. Lilith is she's the Lolita succubi.
She's of age. She's just petite.
Well, I
but
mean, she looks Lolita. I'm not saying she. Anyways,
listen, petite women are out there.
Well, I'm sure she's like 8,000 years old. Anyway,
I'm sure. But anyway, Mephistopheles again. This again comes to the point where like, what is Mephistopheles being the character in goddamn, I forget the actual name of the epic, but it's like the story of Faust, right? Like Faust is like a scientist, researcher, all that, wants infinite knowledge, everything, makes a deal with the devil. This is literally where this comes out of. A deal with the devil to get infinite like amounts of information and intelligence. These things would not exist without us. Like Mephistopheles is really just a manifestation of man trying to learn as much as possible, and then it just gets them fucked over. Why? Because of our ego. We wind up fucking ourselves over, and these are really just problems that we create for ourselves. It's kind of just like the worst reflections concentrated of man possible. And this is kind of like the classical term. Like, again, if you've seen Madoka, I feel like I shouldn't have to explain it, but like, it's like right there. This is a fucking Cube in a fucking nutshell right here. And then this is one of those things that I never see spoken about. And that is the Key of Solomon. And again, this speaks back to like how
fucking 72 demons at his command. Oh, wait. You mean like he has 72 demons? Sorry. I misread that sentence completely. Sorry. Yeah, I misread that completely. That's how I was.
You thought he was having sex with 72 demons at his will. No, he was not fucking the demons. He might have been.
But Solomon, being king of David, or son of David, like Mr. Big Dick, like the Mr. Big Dick of the Old Testament. If you go looking into like demonology lore and whatnot, you will wind up running into this concept of the Key of Solomon, which is kind of like, I don't want to say it's at the heart of like Jewish mysticism, but like this is like a great place to start if that's something that interests you and you want to kind of like learn about. And the reason being is like, this is where you have King Solomon. And again, takes very, none of this is like necessarily orthodox because people argue and everything. And like, you know, people accept things at different like rates and whatever. But like the idea is that he got command of 72 fucking demons, all of which had different functions. And this dude was just whipping them out like fucking Pokemon. This is like every single, like 70, like, goddamn, it was Lilo and Stitch. Every single like cousin of Stitch had like a different goddamn power and like specific function. That is exactly what that shit was like. And like the Key of Solomon basically like comes back to this thing. It was like, this is like the controlling like grimoire, like magical like thing that like actually has it. So this is how he's able to control them and whatnot. And it's interesting because it's like, yo, this is Old Testament, and this seems so strange because it's not being taken as just being evil.
It like, does sound like an isekai character. Sorry,
it does. It absolutely does.
What's that one anime with the big skeleton guy and like
Overlord
or some bullshit like that?
Yeah, Overlord. Yeah, there you go.
Anyways, keep going.
Well, like you wind up going into fiction, and like, what is it that we get?
It's Pazuzu.
Exactly. This is Pazuzu. This is quite possibly one of the most like, without, if you know it or not, it is like one of the most pervasive demonic figures in fiction in the modern day, just because of like that's what they've affected. That's the spinoff. This is Pazuzu. This is the demon that possessed the little girl in The Exorcist, and wound up having like.
My mom said that she was reading the book The Exorcist, I think when she was in college, and she had to put the book outside of her apartment at night because she was like, I can't sleep with this book in my apartment.
My parents, who were like ultra Catholic, would not allow me to watch the movie.
Drink, by
At
the way.
all.
Well,
Yeah, I was gonna say drink
my dad
couple
said
times.
when my dad said when he first saw the movie, he was like, "I need to convert."
How? Do you know who Pazuzu is?
Like from Futurama, yeah.
No, it's just funny because whenever we play D&D, every so often, I keep calling Paylor Pazuzu just to see if you'll notice.
Have you seen my name? Manuel, did you see my name?
Oh,
Pazuzudies.
Pazuzu.
Also, I will just say this. Pazuzu is the stupidest fucking name for
His
a demon
name is
ever.
Ounds. Oh, that's the
Lilith
Ounds,
fucking
Ounds,
whoops the
Ounds.
shit out of Pazuzu. Pazuzu sounds like it sounds like fucking Kazuzu. Also, look at that little dick. That Pazuzu got a dick as small as Timothy Chalamet.
I have a feeling his dick was more impressive in the movie because I could have sworn the Pazuzu statue was like, wow, like John Holmes or some shit. Anyways,
And then this is just a classical representation, because there's too many examples for me to even try to fucking crunch this in of the 7 deadly sins.
okay, I was like, what are we looking at?
Exactly, and that's the thing. The 7 deadly sins are just like fucking pervasive things that you will see in every single aspect of all fiction, because it just speaks to what happens when we let our desires run rampant and then just go. We become the demons. Like, these things wouldn't exist without us, but we're like, oh no, it's the spirit of lust, it's spirit of wrath. No. We exist, and therefore these things exist. We are the demons. That's really what fucking happens here. So in between, what I could have put Full Metal Alchemist, fucking 7 Deadly Sins, obviously, right? Any amount, god damn it, fucking Constantine. It's just perfect as is. It is a device that, whether you see it or not in other cultures, or no, you will see in other cultures, even if it's not specifically called out the exact same way, because it basically just comes about to attaching yourself to mortal things more than is necessary, and just obsession.
Drink. Where's my timer at? It definitely is drink time. Oh wait, it's drink time now. But there you go. You're fine. Keep going.
And then that's it.
It's
We are the
us.
demons.
We are the
That's
demons.
it. We are the demons. Demons only exist because of. Also, I will say this: it is a shit show trying to like research anything on demonology in general, because half of demons all have this like a million different fucking names.
Yeah.
And because there's no cohesive canon to everything, you could wind up trying to look up something about one demon, and then it winds up being like Samuel. Okay, Samael. Kabbalistic like name because it has the EL at the end. Okay, makes sense. And it's a demon of destroy. Okay, and then somehow you wind up finding traces of it being associated with Apollon, being the Greek god of the sun who was a destroyer, and then you just wind up spinning off like a million different other things. It is a fucking shit show trying to find anything cohesive, but at the same time, it's kind of fun because of the same reason. It's kind of like trying to untangle a bunch of Christmas lights, and you're already halfway through, and now you have to prove a point.
Oh damn! Drink, by the way. This is a fun presentation. I like this one. Usually your present, but since Richie's new here, I wanted to point out that usually Pleiades' presentations don't have this much cohesive form. Like usually he'll spend 15-20 minutes literally going on about something that has nothing to do with this topic, and then he'll switch to his topic. Oh, you have it. What is that? Demons and demonology.
This is something that legitimately interests me. I love learning about this shit.
No joke. I think I had that exact book. I'm pretty sure I threw it away though. But not for any reason.
This isn't, and I wouldn't. And just heads up, I wouldn't say this is like a like thing that's like this is an authority. No, this is a fun way of getting yourself acclimated, of like kind of like what's it called, breaking the ice, kind of just getting into it because you have a lot of information. But this book very succinctly demonstrates the fact that like these demons, because if you go into the back where there's like the appendix and everything, there's multiple names where it'll like reference multiple other fucking names and entries in the encyclopedia.
so many names get referenced just to like quote unquote like the devil. Like they'll be like, oh, did you know that like Beelzebub? No, Beelzebub is not another name for the devil. That's
The
his
Lord
own
of
demon.
Flies.
Yes.
No, actually, he
But,
is.
like, a lot of-
Actually, he is.
See, depending on what you read, I've always
That's
thought it was
also
different.
true. You're right. You're
So
right.
yeah, it's always one of those things. And there's a lot of other ones like that.
Beelzebub,
like, Belial,
but I was going to like tie in like, oh, okay, so here's like Leviathan, here's fucking that, like I'm like, that's too much. It's way too much.
yeah, it is. Another topic for another day. Fun fact: last year I did a DTL on Anton LaVey, and I was supposed to do one this year on Holistic Crowley. I'll tell you right now, I'm not doing that. I might save that for a non-Halloween one. Obviously, I already have my topic for next week picked out. It'll be fun though. Anyway, that was fun. By the way, Molly, you mad won the poll. I think there was like 6 or 7 votes, and they were all for you. Like it wasn't even. I'm not gonna lie, I even voted for you. So yeah, it wasn't even like there was no poll. It was just like everyone say Molly's was the best, guys. But yeah, or Manuel as well, like in Daniel and Uriel. Yeah, that was just a fun DTL. I'm glad we rescheduled this one. Fun fact, like we were supposed to do this last week, and then Molly died.
I almost made my presentation about like what angels actually look like, but then I was kind of like, this is just be a ripoff of Wendy Goon's fucking video.
Dude, I have mixed feelings. I was originally, and this is a topic that I don't want to give this away, but I was gonna do like a disturbing movie iceberg thingy for like a Halloween UPZ topic, but I realized unless we kick Nyara off, that's not gonna happen because I'm the only because like I can find people for that, but like no one else knows this, because I always made the point that Wendy Goon's video, I love Wendy Goon's other videos, but his disturbing movie iceberg video, which is annoying because that thing has like millions of views. He admits it himself. He has not seen half the movies that he's talking about.
Well, yeah, that's the point. I mean, that's the reality of the iceberg, though.
I've seen them. I've watched Murder Vomit Dolls or whatever.
But was it like actually worth it? Like,
no, it wasn't. It was just people vomiting everywhere.
That's what I mean.
Sex.
What are you gatekeeping? Who cares?
But you can't talk about something if you've never seen it.
I absolutely can.
No, that
I will
something...
give you a 5-page thesis paper on any topic you choose, and I will look into it at all.
If something is that basic, and if it's that like absent of content or like words talking, I feel like it kind of like goes over the edge where it's like I'm not really good. How much can you fucking say about Beyblade? Like,
there's a really good
a lot.
There's a really good YouTuber.
You're not helping my point here.
Her name is Nick Spheres, and she did another. She did another not reaction because I think she's cool, Wendy Goon, but she did like her own version where she has seen a lot of the videos, and she brought up a good point because, like just like Pleiades said, like sure you could boil it down to just vomit and sex, but there's usually something that makes these movies special. That's why they end up on the list, quote unquote special. And I can tell you what those are, but I don't want to spoil content. Go watch Nick Spheres video if you want to like hear.
But also, let's be fair. A lot of those things wind up being okay. It's like not all, but like some of those wind up being like they attempt to say something, and it's like it is a fucking bullshit.
But yeah, but like especially like not to keep hammering the Murder Vomit Doll series. That fun fact, Molly knows because even long before that series was trendy to talk about because on the disturbing movie iceberg, I discovered that series like years ago, and I've been joking with Molly that I'm gonna keep showing her that at a con. I'm sure Molly. I'm like,
Please don't.
I think I told her when I first watched it. I'm like, Molly, I'm gonna show you this movie. They just like vomit each other's mouths.
I just wouldn't watch.
I would just play it and just like you would see it for a second, and then you probably never talk to me again. I wouldn't do it. It just be being an asshole. But no, anyways, I just want to throw that out there. I forgot why I brought that up. There was a reason I brought that up. I forgot what it was. Anyways,
Yo! Wait, hold on. Oh,
Molly
fuck.
has exited the chat. I only voted once.
Sorry,
I exited the shit backwards.
Oh, damn it. Where's it called? Right here.
What is this?
Hold on.
What are you trying
Just
to show
read
us?
it. Just read it. I can't see that. It's just like it's like invisible
what
link.
you're trying to get across, but
So the name right there, it's hard to get into focus. It actually says right here, Jahi.
Jahi?
Yeah.
okay.
What about it?
Anime.
Is that an anime from an anime? Jahi?
Yeah, Jahi. Yeah.
For some reason, Molly right now reminds
It's
me
a chaos
of
gremlin.
Who's Julianne Moore?
An actress.
She said apparently you look like Julianne Moore right now. Anyways, we'll wrap this up.
Iblis!
I'm gonna plug some other shit before we come back. I'll have a much faster plug because I already want to cut out a bunch of shit because I rambled way too long. If you really want to support ADJ Connections, we are revamping our Patreon. Patreon.com/ADJ Connections. If you join at any tier, I think the bottom tier is $2, not $1, because Patreon itself suggests to do $2 tier, so I want to move it up to that. But honestly, I think I'll leave it at $1 if I'll leave everything open.
Been using Beats by Dre.
These aren't Beats by Dre. These are
They're not?
these
What
are
is that?
these are a Sony thing. Anyways, we are revamping the ADJ Patreon. There will be a lot of content. And I don't know if it'll all be good. But
Under promise, over deliver.
There will be a weekly writing from Manuel, myself. I will be throwing that in there. There will be a monthly video where I'll have little snippets of content that we did not include in the live streams. And there'll also be at least one monthly Mario game being beaten by either Manuel or friends with Manuel.
Don't make that promise. Some of these games.
Manuel, in the movie Hannibal in 2001, Julianne Moore is Clarice.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And not in Silence of the Lambs, but in
Hannibal. I've seen that one.
Oh.
Yeah, I was looking up her movies and I was like, which one would Manuel know?
Weird thing, I do have to say this. I'm sorry, I had to.
That was the end of my plug, by the way. That's all the shit. And there'll also be the normal shit like interview previews and so on.
Fun fact, rationalization for having sleep paralysis is something called a Marin, hence nightmares, hence this demon sitting on somebody's chest. I don't know. I thought it was just fun. It's fun.
Well, I have heard that actually. But yeah, so shout out to our current patrons and also our current schedule this week. Tuesday we have UPZ. Melancholia might or might not be on. I'm going to confirm with them tonight. Either way, Monday you'll know the schedule. If Melancholia is not on, we're going to just have a community what do you call that, Jackbox night again, because it's too last minutes to get a new guest. It'll be just spooky themed. And then Wednesday we're playing more Outlast with myself, Warren, and Snacks. And then Friday hopefully is the return of FAP. And then Saturday we'll have one more DTL. We'll talk about who's on that one, but that's the normal schedule DTL week. So we'll figure out. I don't want to change that week, so we're gonna just have 2 in a row. But then from then on, it'll be back to every other week. It just this one was a weird one because we had to cancel last week. We'll see who's on that one. Definitely Warren will be on that one, but we'll see who else will be on that one. And myself and Pleiades. Maybe Molly. We'll see. Anyways, and that's that. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Hal, for joining, because you were last minute because Warren. Well, technically, you were supposed to be on last week's, but Warren literally on Wednesday when we were doing the gaming stream and I was plugging all the shit. He's like, "What do you mean this DTL on Saturday?" I'm like, "I tagged you." It's like
on live shit. Listen, life fucking happens.
So anyway. He's with fun fact. He's at Leslie's right now. So when he did that backflip and he hurt himself and he ate shit, Leslie was like, "Are you okay?" And it's great.
Excuse me.
Anyway, you should really do a backflip. Molly. Okay, Molly, correct me if I'm wrong. Have I ever seen you do a cartwheel? I feel like you've cartwheeled.
A cartwheel is not a backflip.
I mean, I think I could maybe do a cartwheel still. I used to be able to.
Yeah, did you ever like that? Sounds weird. Like I've ever been like, Molly, do a cartwheel. I think you did a cartwheel like at a con. Like, by the way, when I say you done a cartwheel at a con, I mean like 5-6 years ago. I don't mean like, yeah. I mean literally like when like we first met. I'm like, I think I joked about, or somebody did, and you did a cartwheel. I think, or I think somebody else was doing a cartwheel. I think Tiffany was, and you did one too. So yeah. Anyway, thank you all for watching. That's our show.
Somebody be careful, take care of yourself, love each other, be good, all that, blah, blah, blah. Like, comment, subscribe. Bye!